Okay, we are live. Sorry, I was running late,
That's okay.
everybody. Hopefully,
That's okay.
somebody will be here soon.
Woo, woo,
And
too hot.
yeah,
I find
see if
that
I can
that
share
coffee
this out
maker does
in a
that to
bit.
me.
There we go. So we'll just
Oh, wait, I
start
got
with
you
questions,
open.
but
Hold on.
I do have some questions.
Sorry.
I
There
am
we go.
prepared.
Okay.
I
We'll just run
can't
with
hear
it.
you at all. Are you talking?
Yeah, hold on. I don't know what happened.
Nope, no sound.
Huh. Okay. Let me check. Maybe it got turned down. Hello, hello.
Nope.
There we go. It got muted. Can you hear me now?
Okay, try it again.
Hello? Testing.
Oh, it was me. It wasn't
Okay.
you.
Somebody got into your volumes while you were
Yes.
out. I've got a little. No, Malachi, over here. Yes. Don't tell mommy no. His favorite word. No.
Okay,
No.
we're good. So, how are you been?
Okay. Got a little bit done last night in the backyard. I'm gonna go out and check it again today. I had that. You remember when I asked you about that fungicide, if you had ever
Yeah.
used it, the Dr. Earth? It was in my cabinet. So I didn't I'm so glad I checked because I
Yeah.
forget what I've set aside.
Right.
So I was trying that out last night. I have another one which is organic copper, and then if the first one doesn't knock it out, then I'll go to the copper. If that doesn't knock it out, then I'll go
Right.
to the neem.
Yeah.
Um, but usually they use like the copper on the mango. I know I was looking that up,
Yeah.
so we'll
Right.
see. We'll see what
Right.
happens. And took care of a banana. It was the smaller rack last night. And took that banana out to the curb to plant, and realized I'm really out of shape. I need to straighten out that whole mat of bananas. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Well,
I
I've been pounding in T posts, so yeah, I can relate to that a little
oh
bit.
my gosh, pounding in T posts. I need to do that for I have some grapes that are I you're listed as muscadines, but because they're golden, they're considered
Right.
scoopernogs or
Mm-hmm.
scoopernog. I can't is it nong or nog? The end of that word, I don't know,
I
but
don't know.
I'm not sure either. So I need to take care of that. But I need to figure out a place to put them where Malachi won't run smack dab into it because it's going to be along where our gates are
Right.
coming into the yard. And also the hubby not running into it with his lawnmower because
Right. Of
he
course.
wants to keep grass. Boo.
Okay. So, yeah, he does want to keep grass and making it look nice, and you're
Well,
like,
it's for Malachi to play on, really.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
And the safest place for him is in the backyard where,
exactly. Where
hmm
I have it all fenced in, so he can't,
yes.
yeah, get out to streets or the canal or he doesn't tend to show any interest in like the canal, but he loves the pool. So I'm glad that we have a community pool and it's completely like across the street and gated for when he
Uh-huh.
gets older in case he decides he's going to do anything like go out of the house.
Does
You
he
know,
does he
beach.
have sensory things with water or
He
or-
loves he loves the pool. He loves that
okay.
sensory. He loves going in with dad, and he can swim. Give me that, Malachi. Give me that. I don't know if he just grabbed a lipstick out of nowhere. Give me, what is that? Give me this. Oh my, yeah, no wonder why you're spitting. This was peppermint oil. Come here. Seriously. This is such a Monday. Oh my gosh. Come
It
here.
is a Monday. It is a Monday.
Yes. Come here right now. Hold on. Come here. Here. Over here is here. Here.
Such is
I'm
life.
pointing. I know. Come here. I need to wipe it off of you. You can't have that. You don't mess with peppermint oil while mommy. No, no wonder why. Yeah, you okay? Yeah, it's in your eye. Oh my gosh. God give me strength with this child. The things. It's all, give me 1 second and let me angle so I can see what he's
Yeah.
doing because he goes behind the couch and does little things like
I'll
that.
just tell people what this is about. What I'm planning, guys, hopefully you guys are going to do the watch back on this. Um, what we're planning to do on this channel on Monday afternoons is talk about gardening, and I'm gonna invite one person up and seriously talk about what's your inspiration, what makes you garden. Is it the current age or any of that? Um, all of the above. And so I would like to interview people that are really interested in gardening, homesteaders, uh, people that just, it's not really about your channel, it's about your inspiration and, where you get your ideas from, why you started growing. Um, I mean, we will promote your channel below as well. Um, and I didn't put that in for Carol, but I'll do that after the chat here. But this is what I want to hear. What inspires people? I want to hear why you're growing. Is it a spiritual thing? Is it I just feel good when I'm growing food? Um, it doesn't even have to be food. It could be flowers. Whatever fills your makes you feel more comfortable and why you garden. So that's what we're planning to do. So she's taking a minute and dealing with peppermint oil in the eyes.
Okay. He seemed to be all right. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, thank
Wonderful.
God. This
Yeah,
kid, man. I think he might have just ate some of it. So, and a little bit. I saw a little bit going, and I'm like, great. So I got that
yeah,
wiped out. And at least I have wipes always ready, like facial wipes.
right. Okay, so my
Okay.
first my first question for you is, what is your favorite season to grow in?
That's a hard one. I would love to grow in winter. It just didn't pan out this year. Winter, like I can get nasturtiums growing. It's so nice and cool to work outside here in the winter time. We don't have a true winter like up north.
Right.
We only drop the lowest we'll drop now is about 40.
Mm-hmm.
We used to drop into the 30s and the low 30s, but don't really see much of that, especially during the daytime here. I would like to see it because it would kill off some of the stuff we have, like
Right.
vegetative eating iguanas. But I like to, of course, I love our tropical rains. You have to be outside in our winter because you have to be watering consistently, which I had forgotten because I haven't been
Right.
able to tackle winter in quite a few years with all I've had going on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if he's got it on his iPad. I just watched him lick his hand. Sorry, guys. I have a special needs son if you're not familiar with me. I'm trying to.
It is
He knows
totally
if I start talking to somebody, even phone or here, it's time to
yeah.
get away with things.
Yep.
But yeah, I would say winter. So it's been really kind of heartbreaking for me that it just hasn't worked out. This year it was because if I take him outside and I just lose sight, not even lose sight, if I take my eye, avert my eye, he will dig up what's right
Mm-hmm.
there that we just planted together. So even if I keep him under my arm, that
Right.
is sensory in the dirt and he'll just,
Mm-hmm.
there goes what I planted. Hey, John Cole, welcome in.
Um, so what is your zone? Your
My
garden
zone
zone?
is 10B, but I believe it's 10B 11A. They did not, it's so weird. They changed the zones, like it seems like above me,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of went a little bit around us. And it's like, what are you doing? It's getting hot as Hades down here.
Right.
Like we're not having chill hours. I think I don't know if they're running out of zones for Miami. That's maybe why.
Yeah.
Because Miami's like 13 probably at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
hot. But yeah, where's 10B, 11A, tropical rainforest like during summer and spring.
So what are the kinds of things that grow in your area?
Most tropicals will do great here. Even like Asian, African plants. That's what I'm trying to look into is different
Hmm.
perennials from, other countries that have similar areas to mine, climate
Yeah.
wise. Australia, some of theirs in a certain area in Australia. I forget which it is what area is exactly similar to
Hmm.
ours. But right now, bananas do great. Of course, we used to be the citrus industry, but we had citrus greening and citrus canker come through. So now, if you buy citrus, and this is in most places up the East Coast, the soil is drenched with a lot of stuff
Mm.
to combat those two diseases.
Yeah.
So you're not going to truly find, like in your big box stores, usually anything that's organic, but especially not citrus. So it turns out, though, my native daughter is allergic to it. But I grow bananas. I have a jackfruit tree that is hopefully fruiting this year. It threw
Hmm.
out the male flowers last season, which look like tiny jackfruits. Then I have mulberries. I have the Illinois. It's supposed to be the dwarf, but I'm not even sure if that's the Illinois dwarf at this point. Like what cultivar it is. Thing
Hmm.
does not want to remain dwarf in size ever. It wants to
Yeah.
the genetics. It's probably about 8 foot, about 10 foot tall right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I need to cut it down. In fact, I want to move it, so I've delayed cutting it because all the cuttings you can basically stick in the ground here and you have a mulberry.
Wow.
Yeah. They are really easy to propagate here. I have what is called uh, chaya, which is like a Mexican Aztec spinach. Hey, Storms, Radios, and Cats. Thanks for coming in.
Hello. Thank you for coming in.
Um, let's see what else I keep saying. Moringa, or
Hmm.
sour, which has not flowered. And I spoke to another tropical grower down here, and he said he had 5 that did not flower, and he finally got one that did.
Mm.
So they can be a little bit testy down here.
Hmm.
See,
Yeah.
that's about an 8 foot tree right now next to my moringa. I'm going to try and like really give it the fertilize it, feed it, and see what happens this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
It might help to feed my plants. I'm terrible starving plants. Um, I have a lychee.
Hmm.
Found out it's deciduous, and I need to possibly have another lychee, but I don't know which type I have until it flowers.
Right.
Don't know if
Right.
I've got the male or the female,
Right.
but the guy I was talking to was saying if there's one within radius of your house, it'll be fine. And so
Hmm.
now when I'm driving, I'll be out there looking for like,
Yeah. Does somebody else have one? I hope so.
yeah,
Yeah.
cross pollination anywhere. I have a mango, but it's just one because the last mango I had, the Valencia Pride, uh, a blight, not a blight. Yeah, it is a blight. Fire blight took it out because
Oh.
yeah.
Wow.
And it was a really bad graft where they
Mm.
had grafted it as it grew. It was opening up like a wound. It
Huh.
was really bizarre. So it wasn't like a good graft. I've since met like the Zill. Well, I met the one Zill brother, and they're responsible for a lot of the hybrids here.
Hmm.
And I actually saw how he does like this special type of tea graft.
Hmm.
And yeah, that wasn't done for my tree. So I'll probably be going to him and getting my next mango and selling the one I have currently
Yeah.
because I thought it was something else. And that, of course, is getting fungus too. And the more I read on it, it's a very vigorous, huge mango that,
Hmm.
my
Yeah.
small 0 lot line house does not need a
Right.
huge, it needs a dwarf.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think and I have a Jabota Cava. See, the problem with that's the Sabra. It's the Brazilian grape. It's the dark colored one
Hmm.
on the trunk. That's the one that flowers on the trunk and pull the fruit right off the trunk. I want to get a red one. Those flower and fruit sooner. But everything is pretty much potted up except for my bananas, of course, soursop, jackfruit, and the mulberry, the one that I mentioned. I have 2 other mulberries that I got from another gardener that are in pots, but we don't know if we're going to end up ever moving. So I'm afraid
Right.
to put all my fruit trees in the ground and then I have to start completely fresh. But I also don't know where we might move, so I might have to do that like
Right.
anyway, except
Right.
for the Illinois mulberry I could take with me because that'll pretty much grow just about anywhere.
Right.
But
So
um,
what is the hardest thing to grow in your zone?
mm,
Or the things that you absolutely couldn't grow that you'd like to grow?
well, what brought me over to David the Good was what he said about people who garden up north and then try to come down to my zone and garden. The tomatoes were giving me the hardest time, whether
Mm,
it was blights or it was the bugs.
the
And that
hornworm.
was when I found out, oh, you have to do those in winter here. You can do cherry and smaller tomatoes in spring, but not the larger ones,
Mm-hmm.
or that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And also the best one for down here is our Everglades tomato. So I would say tomatoes and a lot. I don't bother with a lot of the winter crops that people can grow because our winter is so short and it's not a true winter
Mm-hmm.
except for greens. Like I can do the winter greens. Like right
Mm-hmm.
now, I've got a bunch of mustard in. I've got kale
Right.
going. I don't know if the kale will make it before our hot weather's here though.
Right.
Because
Can you grow onions and stuff like that in your area?
I imagine we could. The soil would have to be probably amended with bone meal, even though ours is really it's a neutral soil
Mm-hmm.
here because I do know other gardeners who were south of me who struggled to get them to
Okay.
bulb up. Hmm.
Well, usually, I know that nitrogen is a big bulber, or really makes the onions grow really well,
Okay.
from
Yeah.
what I understand.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I know that when we've talked in the past, and I have a relationship with you, and so we talked in the past about homesteading and what that means, and what is your dream for that, and do you?
I'm real low maintenance. Like I don't have all the time to really do like what you guys are doing there is right now with Malachi and my daughter is kind of beyond us. I
Mhm.
would be very happy with just a little agriculture lot, a little bit away from people. Not,
Yeah.
I don't need deep country. I would like that, but that's just not realistic for my family, the way
Right.
it operates and what
Right.
he services or doctors he might need. And I would be happy with that. Just have chickens and quail and not have to hear about the city doesn't allow it. And
Mhm.
just to have far less restrictions. And then I would go from there. I'm not sure about any, unless I did like, I always wanted a mini homestead, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everything mini, like
Mhm.
those little mini cows, but they won't survive in my zone down here. It's too hot. But anything that's small, um, because you've got to feed them too and realize that they're going to need all that space. And
Yeah.
right now, land is just so expensive here
Yes.
and everywhere. It's just
Yes.
going up.
Yeah.
So
When we
I'll,
bought here, it was very reasonable, and then
yeah,
when we moved here, then it got really expensive. So it's like we could sell a chunk of our land and really almost pay for our land.
yeah,
But so
yeah. That's amazing. That's
yeah,
crazy too to think
it
of that
just
you could.
yeah, it just shows how much things have grown, and
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
And I too, I would like a place or an ability like you guys had it built on, but something that would be put together on the property easily. I don't want to get into the full on building, you
Right.
know. And and for me, it would have to also be, you know, tie downs or a tornado shelter or something if I'm moving up north. From
Right.
living in a hurricane state, I've seen wind damage and I don't want to, and flooding and I don't want to experience like a tornado out of nowhere and have nowhere to put my
Right.
family.
Right.
So that would
Yep.
be,
My brother just got a backhoe, and one of the things we're like, now we can build a storm shelter.
oh, good,
After
good.
seeing uh, what the tornadoes did to Clarksville, Tennessee, which is an hour away. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep.
It's scary. It's
It
really
is scary.
And I just like it's a forefront because we went through Hurricane Wilma and had all our power knocked out
Mhm.
years ago for a
Hey, Bud
week.
Files.
Hey, Bud Files. I know, right? The morning crew. That's how I felt this morning, but not too bad. Not too bad. You know, 10 was that's past morning people still. Morning people are like, I'm like,
I'm a morning.
yes.
I'm considered a morning person. Hey,
Mhm.
Gil. Or
Hey,
not Gil.
Gear. What's up, Gear?
Gear. Why did I say
I don't
support?
know.
I apologize.
Yep.
Gear. Awesome Gear. Nice to see you, buddy.
My curly.
So what we talked a little bit about the challenges, about uh, the money, the
Yep.
time of doing a real homestead.
Yeah.
Um, if those weren't, what would okay? And
If
let's
those weren't hindering me, what would be the dream?
yeah, as far as garden wise, because we are on the topic of garden. What would
Garden,
be
yeah, garden wise, I love the uh, raised beds that Kevin sells from California. Um, and I'm trying to, of course, it's the metal raised beds, but you really can't do those here because of the heat.
mm-hmm,
It'll bake your soil. Like some people can if they've got a little, I guess, shade. And I would love like a garden like that because at this age I need higher, like things that
right?
are up higher, the getting down on the ground kind of gardening for me. No, I'd rather vertical garden, even with, all
Right.
the vining things. I
Mm-hmm.
would like to trellis them up. So it's just easier to maintain, especially with fibro. I got stuck on the ground here just with my beds that are this high off the ground.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank God I can push myself up now, but it's getting harder to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say something like that, like a huge garden like that, where it's all elevated beds and raised beds that are taller raised beds. Like I'm talking 2 foot at least.
Yeah.
Um, And, of course, I would love to have land where I could have animals like the cows. I think going into, scary times and maybe some small pigs. But the problem is I need to be near a place that I can send them to freezer camp because I'm
Right.
not
Well, I mean,
sure
we're pretty
how we would
rural, and
do
we
it.
can send them to freezer camp too.
Okay. Yeah, because we would need it, like when I've watched other channels, like just to do the pigs, how they have to strap them up and drop them into a huge vat of boiling water and then scrape down their skin and all that's involved.
You
I'm
don't
like,
have to do that, but you
yeah,
can
there's
skin
no
them.
way, no way as we
Yeah.
age that, no. But I
Yeah.
would like, home grazed meats that aren't
Mm-hmm.
full of soy. That would be great.
Right. So supporting farmers that do it right now are the
Hmm.
thing for you, right?
Yes,
Um,
but I was surprised, like, how expensive, like, half a cow is, like, looking into that. That's well grazed, maybe, it's finished with a little corn or whatever, but it's grass
yeah.
fed. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
So,
expensive.
yeah. So we can't do anything like that right now. We can't
Right.
afford even that.
Yeah.
But, that would be, yeah, that would be I would rather have somebody actually do the larger animals for me because I believe for the kids it would be very difficult unless it was just like a cow for milk or
Mm-hmm.
small little goats for their milk. But to dispatch them, I'm concerned that Hannah would get pretty attached and
Mm-hmm.
would not like that idea at all
I think
because
it's
she's
easy with
grown up
young
city.
kids.
You,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
she didn't grow up like that. Neither did I.
I
You
deal with
know,
that with Dana. She doesn't want anything to do, or I put something on Facebook about us processing our chickens, and she freaked out. So I get it.
wow, just the chickens. Wow. Yeah, I'm wondering about that too. Like meat birds, I would have to keep away from her. Like, oh no, Like that's
Don't.
chicken nugget. That's, grilled
Mhm.
breast.
We're not naming
Not
them.
naming those
Yeah, yeah.
anything sweet.
So what are the things that if you weren't in your zone and you're watching other videos, what would you want to grow?
I think cherries would be one, like true cherries.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Especially the tart cherries because they're anti-inflammatory. I'd like to have a lot of like an orchard that I can't have here because I don't have the chill hours. So
Right.
pretty much I would be experimenting with anything that requires more chill hours that I would buy in like a grocery store. So a true apple,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard we have some apples, but they're not that fantastic,
Yeah.
taste wise for the tropics. We also do have a peach, which I'd like to try, but I would have those like the peaches. I love nectarines are like my favorite fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So next to mangoes, they're one of my favorites. So I would love to grow nectarines, peaches, and cherry trees. Apricots would be for drying. I don't really care for them when they're like fresh.
Yeah.
Uh, Same thing with plums. Plums would be for drying. I'm not a big plum fan when they're fresh. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's more of a texture thing. I don't care for their flesh when they're fresh, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So
It
like
does.
mostly stone fruits. I would do a lot of stone fruit orchard, but I would miss like mangoes. Like our mangoes are
Right.
incredible down here.
Right.
So it would, and
And
also I'd miss my
those are the things
bananas.
I would love to grow.
Yeah, that's
But
what people
I
are like. I'd be growing all the fruit trees if I was in your zone. I'm like, and you'd be out there all the time making sure it doesn't have a
right.
fungus, mungus.
Well, I mean,
That's the
I
hard.
have a fungus on mine, and that I have to use the copper spray on, just because I
Mm.
have pine trees that you know spread that fungus. So
Yeah. Yep.
um,
Same thing with us. We have the strangler figs that have been up there forever, and I'm sure they're full of fungus
right.
and all kinds of growing things that are shared amongst our trees and
So
bugs.
you're an organic grower. What are
Mm,
the things
yeah.
you could?
Pesticide free. I don't think anybody can be organic these days that
Right.
like strictly organic.
Right.
But go
So
ahead.
what are the
What?
challenges with that with you? With
Oh, it's
with
like the bugs talk to each other and let all the other bugs know that I'm organic and they hit my yard. It
right.
seems like that other people must be using pesticides around me because they zone in on where pesticide is not
Yeah.
and they're on it like it's crazy. The pest pressure has gotten a little bit better over the years, but when I first did it, it was like I did I don't know, like the cowbell, like, come on,
Yeah.
who's here? Dinner time. And they
Yeah.
were all over everything in
Right.
my yard.
Right.
But yeah, that is probably the biggest challenge. And also dealing with the funguses and getting those fungicides to work that are organic, and or just I learning about like, okay, I'm bringing in bagged soil and I'm hoping it's organic because it's labeled that, but it's sitting in a plastic bag in the heat being trucked. So there's got to be some microplastics in it.
Yeah.
Like true organic certification is 7 years of clean soil from what I've heard, like
Hmm.
nothing sprayed in it, nothing like non-organic.
Right.
And I don't know if I could say that since I have to bring in some bag soil. Like I
Right.
can't really do a true compost here yet. I haven't figured out a way to do it to where the rats aren't going to come in and break into whatever I use and be in there peeing and pooping in it because
Right.
I'm right off this canal.
Hmm.
So that's a challenge too with organic gardening here is where do you put a compost pile? How do you lock up the compost pile? Because they can eat through plastic,
Hmm.
rats. Even just my hiding my stuff outside, the
Hmm.
fertilizers. I forget where I heard it, how they said the rats are coming for their blood meal and bone meal.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh no, really? And
Yeah.
course, that's when I was like, oh, that might be why they keep coming in, is my fertilizers are all natural and have that smell to the
Right.
rats.
I
Like,
was telling Chris, I said one of the things I want to do is put the compost in with the chickens,
oh,
and so that they can control some of the mice because we have mice.
yes. Yeah.
Ours,
Oh, fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, our rats get
We
like
don't
this.
have them in the house, but
No,
yeah,
no, but outside, I know
yeah,
our rats can get like
yeah,
this big. They're not the city rats, but they're big enough.
yeah.
He's getting all giggly because his sister just came out. But yeah, I think those are the challenges, like the rats, and then of course the squirrels. Everybody has the squirrels.
Hmm.
Um, if I put out, I got a bunch of free sunflower seeds. I was going to get a free tree, but they gave us misdirection.
Oh,
And a lot of us went into the park that they labeled, and we're sitting there from the time they said until somebody came in and drove into the park and said, my wife just said they're over on the edge on this street.
mhm.
It's like an annex part of the park that nobody knew they were there except for the locals who
Yeah,
must have saw them, whatever. But yeah, I totally missed that, but they gave me a bunch of sunflower seeds. Well, sunflower seeds, those darn squirrels, like they watch you.
yeah.
So I tried sprouts. They either ate them or the rats did, like when I put them
Mhm.
out. John did give me the idea, will it grow? Said, try and put like a milk
Hold on, I'll
jug
be
over
right
it.
back. I gotta
Okay.
say goodbye.
Yep, yep.
Oh, thank you. I'm leaving that walker here because they got one at the house also. Okay, and guess what I found behind my door lock on the dresser? What? Remember my little emerald earrings that I lost? Yay! And I just put them up here. Oh, they were lab created emeralds. That's what I've been wearing. Yeah. Okay, dear.
All right, thank you for taking her. Yep.
Pardon me.
So
Well,
I
I
have to
just,
say goodbye to my mother-in-law. She's going off with my brother-in-law,
oh,
um, and she's gonna be gone for 2 weeks, and they're doing having
wow.
surgery.
Ooh,
Yeah, on her.
that
She's
seems
having
to
a
be going
hip.
around.
Yeah,
Trish is dealing with that too with her mom, and that's probably why she's not here, or Dudley. They have Trisha's mom after a knee surgery
yeah.
that they weren't expecting to have. It was supposed
Oh,
to, another family member was supposed
mhm.
to, and it didn't happen. And now she suddenly has them and has big dogs. Poor Trish sent us a picture of Trish Wiley is who I'm mentioning,
Yeah.
guys. Sent us a picture of one of her glass doors. One of the panes was broken out from one of her big dogs who couldn't wait
Oh,
a second.
wow.
She has a big puppy, a mix. Yeah. So it's going around, seems like the
Yeah,
parentals getting surgeries and such.
yeah. You got to take care of them. I mean,
Mhm.
at least this will keep her from having her hip pop out of place and
Oh,
us having to deal with that all the time. Being out here rurally takes a while
yes.
for the ambulance to get here. So
Oh, yeah. I hope it totally works for her then. That's awful.
yeah,
That would be.
yeah,
I used to know somebody just who that happened with their shoulder quite a bit, and
yeah,
they would have to pop it back in place. And oh, no.
yeah. And then it gets weaker each time it
Mm,
happens. So
I've heard,
it's
yeah, that's what I heard. It all stretches out and everything. But right here, like the problem, I wish we could just take our house, have a larger garage, maybe one extra bedroom, because I like living in a concrete structure that we have hurricane panels
Mhm.
for. Like it's like a fortress. If we could take this house and just move it somewhere else a little bit more rural, and that would be perfect. Like, and it would be also, I wouldn't mind staying in Florida if our property taxes and our insurance wasn't so cucamonga.
Yeah.
So that was what I was looking at too, was with different states. But right now, with homeschooling him, most states, the southern states, I think I told you this before, are standardized testing the ESE kids.
Hmm.
It makes no sense at all to me that they would do that unless they are giving them so much as far as what's that word I'm looking for?
Thank you for coming back, Barry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, something was going on with my internet a little while ago too.
My internet was crazy bad yesterday. So.
Oh no. Can you just give him these? I'm sorry, I was talking to my daughter. I'm like, can you give him his pouches, and threw one on the floor, please? Huh? Okay, well, can you give him these and that'll help? Yeah, he broke the DVD. I don't want to say too loud player like 2 days ago. So all he has right now is like the iPad, and he's like wanting the other. Oh, yours was crazy yesterday. So it might be just something going on.
Yeah.
And again with stuff.
Yeah.
I know that's what Homestead and I were talking about last night. Like they're hitting our I don't know how to say it delicately, where we go get our pills from doctors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's not too scary for people like on heart meds and things like that, or who have lung issues and need those breathing stuff. Like my son is on Respules and he needs his breathing stuff. Thankfully, I wouldn't call us preppers because we're not to that extreme, but we have a little set aside to where we're not in desperate mode and freaking out right now with that going on in the background.
That brings me to our next question.
Mm-hmm.
You set me up perfectly. See?
Oh, good.
So what is your motivation for growing? Like,
it started out as one thing and morphed into another during the vid, during the, parallelogram.
Mm-hmm. I remember we used to say that.
I did. That was my thing. I got it, but I stole it. I stole it from Yuri, this YouTuber who makes fun of the Kardashians and does skits about. They called it a parallelogram. It started out when my father passed in 2018. I realized I have barely anything from him about him gardening, and he gardened all his life until he came here, and I had nothing as to why or what he did when he came here that made that decision for him.
Mm-hmm.
Now things will pop up here and there, and I'm like, okay, I kind of see. Mm-hmm. And one thing he did mention was the soil is crap here. He's like, I don't want to mess with the soil, which is sand. He knew as a farmer it would be constantly amending because he was also used to the old ways of farming, which were not organic for his family.
Right.
If it's eating your crops, you throw 7 on it. You just, there you go. Get rid of it with 7.
This area is very much like that. It's 7 dust. It's this, it's that. And the number one selling is Miracle Grow.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it's really hard to find the organic stuff.
Yes. Yeah. They do have that. I wouldn't mind trying the organic Miracle Grow soil only because they're the only ones who seem to sift their soil down. Like a lot of the soils we're getting now are chunks of wood. And you're going to end up with mushrooms that aren't necessarily great. What the heck is that?
That is a piece of wood that is in my starter soil. I have some onions growing right here.
Oh, cute. Oh, yeah. I was going to show you what I did. I got out my dad's old soldering iron because I saw them doing that in other countries. Boop, boop, boop. Super simple to get through the little mini one. Yeah. And I'm basically going to use those as like a seed starting thing and then transfer them to the larger one once I get the larger towers up.
Yeah.
But I started because I wanted my kids to be able to know how to garden here if they needed to, and also to have food for the family that was not having to go to the grocery store. And then of course the vid comes along and then everybody's doing it. And it was like, crap. like all the prices went up. I was like, you gotta be
Yeah.
kidding. I had tried while my dad was alive, and he laughed at me because I told him I'm not using 7. I'm gonna try and do it organically.
Right.
And I pulled radishes too early. And I was like, look, I've got radishes. And I didn't realize I pulled them early
Mhm.
back then because I was a brand new gardener. He's like,
Yeah.
honey, if you cannot grow radishes, you're not going to be a successful gardener. Because knowing that they were like the shortest
Right.
time period from plant
Mhm.
to harvest. And I was like,
Right.
so I actually, after I had the bouts of my tomatoes getting wiped out twice in 2 growing seasons, I stopped for 10 years. I didn't garden. And after what my dad said to me too, I was like, he's probably right. I'm just off this canal. I don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Until I found that book by David the Good, Crazy Easy Florida Gardening. It was his first one.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was called. And then I found him on YouTube, and that's when it was like, oh, okay, maybe I can garden. Maybe I just approached it wrong down here.
Yeah.
And it is like, that's why I tell people I don't really I like to buy annuals at the store and eat them. I don't necessarily like to grow them because I am in basically a tropical rainforest most of the time.
Mhm.
Even though they call it the subtropics, it's like living in a tropical rainforest,
Yeah.
especially if these trees were to completely canopy over our house. It's exactly like it. Exactly. And that's how the back of my yard is. Where the shade comes in, the grass goes out. There's nothing there. The snails come in. They seem to love it. And it's like,
Mhm.
and the soil is constantly moist and growing things.
Right.
Can you just keep an eye on them for a sec and then take it? I haven't even had one. My husband emptied our water heater last night, forgot to turn on the heat again for it.
Mhm.
Turn it back
Oops.
on, and my shower was supposed to happen last night. I ended up having like one of those kitty baths because the water was so cold. I was like, not with my pain. I'm not getting in that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. All right. I really, yeah. Okay, go ahead then. Go ahead. Go do your thing. He does act up with his sister. Sorry about that. But it started, just to rephrase it, it started out with wanting my children to have something to go off of in case I did die, and that's a morbid thought, but I had just lost my father and I didn't have anything in front of me that other than, hey, use 7 dust and, about this area and how to grow in it.
Mhm.
But what I realized too was Dad was about my age now when they moved here. Yeah, I think that's right. 9. Yeah, right. Wait. He was 54. He was 54 when we moved here. 53, 54. So exactly about my age. So he was probably dealing with the same thing. Like, I don't want to get down on the ground anymore.
Right.
They gave me like fruit trees with this property. I want
Mhm.
to try and do taller crops and fruit trees. So he did try. I saw pictures. Thank God for Mom's like boxes and boxes of pictures. But I did find the one with Dad sticking corn in the front of our house to try it out. And the corn
Mhm.
looked sick. It just looked, and that might have been like, he grew corn all his life in New York.
Mhm.
So he knows how to grow corn. And that probably really ticked him off. Like the same thing that was confusing to me, that our spring is not like a northern spring. And our spring is like northern summer. And then it gets even hotter in the summer and wet.
Yeah.
So it's tropics. It turns into the tropics come spring. And my dad didn't know that. I think he started to understand it because I do have a picture too that I found where he planted bananas. But again, the bananas in that soil was much more sandy. So
Right.
they look sickly. Like Boca has sandier soil than where I'm at right now.
Mhm. So
Um,
what do you do to find the things that will work in your zone? Like, because I mean that's got to be extremely hard. You
yeah.
said thing about your tomatoes. There's only one kind of tomato that will really grow in your area.
Well, no,
Because
there are others. It's just you have to time it perfectly
yeah,
to not get the extreme amount of pressure, like pest pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And also you should have like, sometimes you need like a shade
Right.
cloth.
Yeah.
And but I do a lot of research. I have, of course, David Good's books that I peruse through. I'm not the best reader. I'm better
Mhm.
with audio and looking at words for
Yeah.
it to stick. So the internet, the time of the internet is great for me. And
Right.
what I'll do too is I'll look up local nurseries and see what they have growing
Mm-hmm.
and go, okay, well, if they're selling that, um,
Replicate
I'm
your
going to
stuff.
research it. Yeah, if they're
Yeah.
selling that, I'm going to research it. And I've noticed down here, you go to a big box store, they're selling stuff that you can't grow here
Mm-hmm.
unless they put it out earlier than northern spring, which they usually don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's getting a little bit better, a little bit, but it's the nurseries that grow the tropicals that know what survives in our climate
Yeah.
that I look to get ideas. But I
Mm-hmm.
also look online for, tropical or rare tropical fruit, and things will come up for me. And I just am like, those are my dreaming ones, though, the rare
Right.
ones.
Right.
Because, you know how that is. Like if it's
Yeah.
rare, it's super expensive and you're
Yeah.
not, and it's like taking kind of a gamble. Like, okay, that's basically a sprout for, 100
Yeah. And
bucks.
it's gone up like 100% almost
Yeah.
since the yeah.
Exactly. And that's what
And
happened to me. It was great in the beginning when I first started and started to journey towards growing
mm-hmm.
um, the prices. I mean, because that was like very early 2019, because my father
Mm-hmm.
passed, hey, end
Hey,
of
even there.
2018. And then, my having to go get my mom, and she moved in by October 2019, that also veered me off course.
Yeah.
And by the time that veered me off course and I went back, it was like, oh my, it exploded. The prices exploded. The gardening at home kind of exploded.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So you have David the Good for inspiration. Who are your
Yeah.
other inspirations? Because
Jeff Lawton,
Mhm.
with his permaculture, like greening the desert. I've watched
Mhm.
a lot of his. He's the one, when you said about putting it in for the chickens, I'm like, I've seen him do that and create greening in the desert by doing the deep litter method.
Mhm.
I've seen that. That's something I'd like to practice if we did have chickens.
Mhm.
But let's see, who else? I'm so bad with names. That's what, of course, Roots and Refuge early on when Dad passed, she was just exploding. Like
Yeah.
her tomato picture and that video had come out around the same time. And Roots and Refuge was a big encouragement. And they're believers too, being a
Yeah.
Christian. They were, I mean, I remember they used to have lives. And one time my mom was having like a complete freak out session and I was in their live and I just asked for prayer. I cannot tell you. They're like, okay, we will pray. Soon, like within an hour, mom settled.
Mm.
Yeah. So them early on, I did watch uh, Justin Rhodes, of course,
Mhm.
but his is way country for me, like
Yeah.
his lifestyle. But he has great, I mean, he knows his stuff. Like the
Yeah.
whole thing, he's the one I think that spread that whole thing with fermenting the chicken feed.
Mhm.
Is the first place, at least that I saw it, was on his channel.
Right.
And now everybody's doing it, and it's been a game changer to help things stretch for the
Right.
chickens and also with birds, getting that hydration into them.
Right. Right.
But trying to think who else. There's Jeff Lawton, David the Good. Oh, Pete Canaris, of course. He's Central
Mhm.
Florida. He was great. Um, I did watch, and I can't think of his name right now. He's the one who did the challenge where he only ate what he could forage or grow.
Mm.
And
Hey,
he's
Moon.
friends with Pete Canaris. Hey, Moon over Miami. I also do watch another nursery owner. He's out of Central Florida, and he deals in jaboticabas and
Oh,
rare jaboticabas. That's Flying Fox Fruit, I think, is it? Or Flying Fox Farms. I always get confused because there's that soil
Mhm.
Fox Farms. So I'm always confused with his name. Let me see if it's Flying Fox Fruit. But he sells on eBay at
Mm.
times. And you can't, it's like I couldn't touch him. I want one of his things, one of his rare Chibotakabas, but I can't afford it as it
Right.
goes up. Fruit channel? Is it farm? Sorry, I'm just trying to look it up. I don't think it is fruit. It might be farms. Anyway, but he's another local that I watch. He usually does lives while he's actually taking care of his farm.
Well,
Yeah. So you get to see kind of what he's doing, what he's using.
I
Oh, I'm
tried to
so
do that
dark.
yesterday. It's too windy.
Oh, while you're, oh, I did that too with the now probably dead uh, Barbados cherry.
Mhm.
Up potting it. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
no, that needs a lot of editing because it's I look ridiculous. Trying to
It
get
was
it.
okay, but for some reason I was sideways
Oh,
because I'm trying to do it on my phone. So I'm like, which way do I need to angle this and all that?
well, you can flip that around though. You know you can with your editor. I'm sure you can
I'd have to,
probably.
yeah, download it to my editor or something like that. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I do editing on the phone because I can't do all that downloading and stuff. Like right now, it's still with this laptop,
Yeah.
clueless. Like
Yeah.
with the Apple, I'm so mad at myself. I used to work on other laptops that had different operating systems, and I was fine.
Yeah.
I had to switch to match my phone, which was super easy to use. But this is not. Trying to
Yeah.
get everything to mesh is not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
I don't know about switching back because I don't want to lose all my photos and videos and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So where were we? What was it? We were talking about
We were,
not
talk-
enough coffee.
we were talking about inspiration, who and where
Yeah.
you get it from.
It was definitely I think David the Good had the most inspiration, of course, over me. That's why I mention him all the time because he
Mhm.
had lives years ago. And I would go in there and learn so much because you could ask him questions, and he still has them occasionally, but he had more because
Right.
he was down in Ecuador and, still trying to keep his business going throughout, like his selling his books. He was still
Mhm.
trying to sell his books, and he's author and
Mhm.
create his YouTube channel, and
Right.
it's huge now. Like it's so huge compared
Yeah.
to how he started. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if he even still has those videos up, but like so mellow. Like his
Mhm.
first video I ever saw was he looked like he was in a backyard. He was smoking a cigar and maybe having some like brandy or scotch.
Hmm.
Like just a
Okay.
little. It's like
Yeah.
I'm just the chill gardener.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, I would say all of them. Pete taught me though about perennial peanut, which I want to get, but you're seeing that now down in South Florida. Even businesses give me that. Businesses are using perennial peanut.
Mm.
Like Publix, they're using it instead of grass underneath their. Thank you. Underneath their trees, their ornamentals,
Uh-huh.
which I was like, woohoo! Little
Yeah.
permaculture plant here. That's cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else did I learn about that I didn't know about. Pretty much it was just that, like a little bit about permaculture, what permaculture
Mhm.
was the intro on Pete's. Then I went and looked up Jeff Lawton and watched some of
Mhm.
his stuff. But David the Good was the most influential out of all of them because he was like, you still can grow in South Florida. Like, don't lose heart. You're in
Right.
you're in the tropics. You are not a northern gardener.
Yeah.
Don't follow their schedule if you're
Yeah.
in those
That's
zones.
that's the thing that I think as a young gardener I had to struggle with too, is that you're not, you have to look it up. You have to look up your
Mhm.
own zones. You have to Google
Yes.
it, do whatever you
Yeah.
can to
Mhm.
figure out what starts in your zone at what time. And then,
Mhm.
I mean, and it's pretty regimented. My husband's always like, "Oh, you can get that, in a couple weeks." And I'm like, "No, I have to start it. It
Yeah,
has."
now. Yeah. That's what I didn't realize, like how regimented it was. I
Right.
still have that. I'm just not good with times and calendars. I'm
Right.
just so, and like journaling. Oh yeah, I'll start and then I'll put it down and forget where I put it. Like bad.
You're not
So being
OCD like
a
me.
gardener where I see them having everything lined up like you, and you know what's going out when and when it's got to be in the ground, I still struggle with that. That's why I
I
don't.
still struggle with it.
Okay,
You know, um, I
learning.
I have to look it up several times. You know, it's like, what? When was that again? What was that again?
That's
You know.
me. Yeah, I'm always looking up our extension service for this
Mhm.
area and being like, okay, what's got to go in the ground now? I don't know.
Because
Or
I'm
usually
new.
what it is I've got something in front of me I want to grow, and I'm like, is it too late? Because it's usually that's me.
Yeah,
Is it too late
yeah,
to put this in? And
yeah.
yeah, I miss
And this zone
peas.
is really hot for that too. I'm just coming into this zone. It's only been a couple of years since I've
True.
been going
Yeah,
in here.
compared to where you were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Very.
so it's a big difference here. And the problem with our springs here is that they're so quick. And so if
Mm,
you don't get the the spring plants in early enough, or basically you really have to like start them early inside
yeah.
and really get it going and get them to a decent size, and then you can get them out and you
Yeah,
know
that for me, I think would be so hard. That hardening off, I would kill so many things all the time. I would
right.
just kill so many things. I almost need like somebody to just take my hand and be like, do this, no, don't do that. Like a grandparent. Like I wish I
Right,
had that. I wish I had
right.
that mentorship.
Mentoring, yeah, me too.
And we do on YouTube, but it's not the same as somebody being right there in your zone and oh, you can
Right.
go, like plant with them and know what, oh, okay, that's good for planting now.
One of the things that I've looked at, and I'm thinking about, look, my sister and I are like, don't you? There's a place called Fire Fox Farms or something over here,
Oh,
and
funny. Okay.
and, or Fireflight Farms, something like that. I forget the name. It is.
Okay.
They just got hit by tornadoes. They just lost their greenhouses, but
Oh,
my sister-in-law, like, we went and visited their farm, and
mhm.
it was beautiful. And
Yeah.
they did some teachings there and stuff like that. And just their vegetables so good, and they're mostly organic too.
Yeah.
And so
Nice.
it's like, um,
Find
can I
somebody.
just sit and prune your weeds, and you can tell me what to do, and
Yeah, I would love that. I
prune
don't
your
have
plants.
anyone here.
Right.
They're out west, like they're in different microclimates than me.
Yeah.
They're either, down way south, totally different.
Right.
And the ones that are down way south, tropicals. That's all they're growing is
Yeah.
basically tropicals and tons of fruit trees. But up here and right around me, we do have people that are in like mangoes. Mangoes are real big, but
Yeah.
they'll tell you what you can grow in your backyard, Carol, is way different than just 30 miles west of you
Yeah.
for what pressure is, fungus is, and things like that, and
Right.
soil
Right.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love that. I hope you guys get to do that. That would
Yeah.
be awesome.
We'll look
That's a
into that.
that's
But
awesome.
and she's been growing longer in this area.
Mhm.
And so she's always like, because I have a YouTube channel, it's like it doesn't mean that I know more. It
No,
just means that I'm willing to be stupid
no,
on TV or on,
yeah. I know. I ran into a local teacher that I didn't even know she was at the library teaching the Back to Eden method, and I'm like, we
Mhm.
can do that here. I said, because I haven't. When I put down wood chips, the snails come. And
Yeah.
she's like, well, tell me how you did it. But she was really like weird with me at first because I said, well, I have a YouTube channel, but I'm still learning. I had to say that right away. Like, I'm
Yeah.
still learning.
Right.
And it was almost like, I don't know how to explain the attitude. Like,
Mm.
kind of like, how dare you have a YouTube channel? Like,
Yeah.
kind of attitude. Like,
Yeah.
but
I have
she's
it.
she's actually friends with Paul Gauchi, I think is how
Oh,
you say his name.
yeah.
The original Back to Eden method
Mhm.
person. So she did give me some tips, and I looked at her and go, oh, so it's like lasagna gardening down here. She goes, yeah, but with less additives. And I was like, might as well lasagna garden because my soil needs additives. Like,
Yeah.
might as well.
Yeah.
Same. If it's kind of the same method,
Right.
like, might as well do that. But then again, I don't want to be down on the ground and not be able to get up. I could just imagine Theron coming home and I'm stuck outside on the ground,
Yeah.
like calling him, like, you have to come home from
And
work. I
M's
can't
running
get
all
up.
over the place.
Exactly, Malachi. And I'm trying to
Jumping on
roll
your back.
towards him.
Boom, boom.
That would be horrible. Horrible.
Mommy's a trampoline.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like it's like they go by fibro, but I still really don't know what is going on with
Yeah.
me neurologically. Like my ankles will just go out randomly. Thankfully, it's not my full on legs. Like that was happening when he was a baby. I think that hopefully was just a pinched nerve in my spine.
Right.
So when I would lift and have his weight on me, it would compress that nerve. And but yeah, I do have concerns about gardening on the ground.
Right.
Yeah. Flowers, fine, but fruits and vegetables. The only problem with that too is our sweet potatoes. They need to be in our soil. They love our soil, the sandy soil. But so do the lovely nematodes love our soil too. So I need to have probably 2 patches, which I haven't done, and rotate them so they don't get overwhelmed in that one area. But yeah, I
think that was my biggest challenge with a backyard garden in Oregon is not being able to move things around the way that I want to. And I'm still struggling with that because I have raised beds because the clay here is so hard. I had to wait for it to rain for like 5 days and 5 inches of rain.
I'm looking at all the stuff he just took out. Sorry, I'm listening.
That's okay.
Okay, it's all right. It's fine.
To put in T-posts in the ground, so it's like we have the hard clay, and so a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is the same thing that amends our soil. So it's interesting.
Yeah, we like everybody's doing biochar, and I want to be able to do it, but then burning near my son.
Yeah,
I have to be able to start it and finish it off, cool it off, and him not be involved at all.
Right.
In my small yard is very difficult too. I thought about maybe if I dig a pit, like I saw that was David the Good too, did a pit fire with the charcoal. I was like, that might be my best bet.
I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you saw that one where he was burning
in the can. What?
He was burning bone. He was burning chicken.
Oh yeah, to make his own bone meal. Yep. Gross. I don't know if I could. I don't know. But I don't know if I could keep it going long enough, safety wise.
I think what I love about his teachings is that it's so full of grace.
Yes.
And I'm the lazy gardener, so what his he taught me how to, and I talked with him, I think on your channel about composting. I think one time he popped up on your channel.
Yeah, he's popped up a couple of times. I think he even might have a secondary channel that nobody knows about, possibly.
Yeah.
That where he can cruise around and not have the attention like go to him.
Right. Which is a
maybe,
good idea.
He might not, but he may be.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, that was that day. I remember when he popped in and we were throwing questions at him, which was wonderful. And he is
I just read his book,
Compost Everything.
Compost Everything.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I'm like, so you can compost dog poo? But you can't.
I don't really want to, but yeah, you can. Yeah. But it just takes a long time and a very hot compost pile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just interesting and what you learn. So
yeah, he's very gracious with his teaching and encouraging of new gardeners, and also I love his experimentation. Like he'll let you know what did or did not work. Like we're gonna just do this and we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, I'll let you guys know, or how I can improve it. I'll let you guys know, and saves me a lot of time. I just get to watch and go, okay, so that didn't work, but that did. I should try that. Yeah. But I'm a lazy gardener too. I want to set it and forget it, basically food forest. I just need to be able to get it on a good fertilizing schedule, because
Mhm.
that I'm bad at, is remembering when to
I
feed
used to
them.
be. I'm a lot better now, but
Yeah.
I don't have the distractions of having the foster child anymore.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I get where you're at,
Yeah.
100%.
And you've got, like, Chris is pretty much a good on his own, can do a lot on his own.
Mm-hmm.
My husband really, like, and he's working alongside of you with a lot. My husband is so bogged down with his work that I've never had that kind of input
Mm-hmm.
at all. Or even just getting a fishing rod. I thought he'd be excited to go fishing because we haven't been fishing together since we first got married.
Mm-hmm.
No, no. That's one of the reasons too. It's like, should we move and get him away from this job, because it seems so all consuming.
Yeah.
Even though he says he enjoys it, I don't know if he sees how miserable he really is. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, this is nice. What are you doing, Malachi? Oh, give me that. He found his putty. He took down, he must have taken down his OT basket that I have, and I don't know how he got to it. So he just mixed up, I think, both of his putties together, the easy and the
Mm-hmm.
more difficult one. So now I guess we have a medium one. For
Very
those of you who don't know, this is a trick that OTs use to strengthen
Mhm.
kids' hands who
Yeah.
have weak hands for writing. Is this putty that you see out in the stores in the tin cans. And sometimes you can buy just it for OT, where it's easy and then it gets harder and harder to work with.
Mhm.
That's just for people who don't know. You and I know about.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. You faced that too, with coming from where you were to the climate you're in now, that it was a huge learning curve for you
It
guys.
is.
Yeah.
The bugs, I was like, what? I've never seen. I mean, I had, I think, one hornworm in Oregon
Mm.
the whole time I gardened there.
Mm-mm.
And here it's like hornworms, army worms, it's
Hate
like,
those army worms. They're
oh,
awful.
horrible.
They're
And
totally awful.
they love sweet potato vine. So it's
Mm. I've had the army worms actually attack my tomatoes as soon as they blush, and I want to try and let them
yeah,
blush on the vine a bit.
yeah.
Turn it around, and there's a big old army worm inside my tomato.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Or you go outside and it's only been like a day, and you have a pepper plant that's just not there anymore, and a big fat
Yeah.
hornworm on your pepper plant.
Yeah.
He's all fat and happy, and yeah, he gets thrown in the canal for the fish to devour.
Yeah. Mine were they end up in the chicken coop nowadays.
Do they like them, the chickens?
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah. I
'cause
checked before I threw them in there if it's okay for them, but yes, it is. So
because
they're like, oh yes, you can, and they love them. I'm like, cool,
I want chicken. Darn it!
revenge.
I want those little velociraptors. They're so useful. But yeah, I same thing here. That there's never a season where it kills off the pests, so you're always having a huge amount of pest pressure down here.
Yeah,
Huge.
it can be very discouraging, I'm sure.
It's very discouraging. Yeah, absolutely. Also, just the getting on a watering schedule, because you'll have huge amounts of rain and then it can just go completely dry.
Yeah.
So you've got to time it like just right, because you don't know how, like, there's certain areas that are shaded in my yard that are still wet from like a rain a week ago, but
Yeah.
not pots. Pots
That's
dry
the way
out.
it is here too.
Yeah, pots dry out super fast here.
Mm-hmm.
The elevated bed I have, there's a huge difference in that compared to just the raised bed, how green the mustard is compared to the elevated bed, because it dries out so much faster.
Yeah.
And it's also like right on above concrete, so there's a lot of radiating heat coming from up and around it, whereas this is shaded a little bit from, with the bananas. My problem is I love bananas, would love to grow different types, but they are invasive almost here the way they grow. They just take off underground and take up that whole area, And then you've got to basically use and I finally got one. It's the jagged edge shovel that cuts through
Mhm.
roots. You need to use
Mhm.
that in order to move them and separate them. It's
Mm.
a lot of work for I tried to do it yesterday, and that's what I tried on video. It was ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, this is not happening. I'm going to have to saw it down. I'm not going to
Right.
be able to separate it out. Now I might be able to, now that the banana tree, but really plant is moved, I might be able to get in there in the corm
Mhm.
and take out chunks. But I would love to grow. There's a red banana I'd like to try. I would love blue java, but they're too tall, which is
Mhm.
also, they call it an ice cream banana. And then other people say, no, ice cream banana is different cultivar. It's so funny because the common names with bananas really mess with people and
Mhm.
getting things. Some people will actually sell, is it the Cavendish? No, the Grand Nan under an ice cream banana. They'll
Mm.
call it and sell it. So I do want to grow mostly dwarf because they're hard enough to deal with. The tall
Right.
ones, getting out a ladder and all that, I would kill myself. Like I could barely handle being on the ground and not falling over. Like trying to chop down a huge heavy rack way above my head on a
Yeah.
ladder. That's
Yeah.
asking for like broken bones. Here
Right.
too. It could have
So
snapped.
is that a challenge when you think about for, I mean, obviously when we were talking about growing in the future, if you had a different place to grow and all of that stuff,
Yeah.
you're talking about raised beds that are a little higher. So is
Yes.
that in your mind, in the back of your mind, if I got the property of my dreams, would
Yeah.
it be a challenge mentally for you?
It would be a challenge physically and mentally. That's why I would keep kind of what I could close to the house.
Mhm.
And that really was why too. I put the beds in right outside. That was supposed to be my zone 1 kitchen garden.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, it it's shaded out a little bit by, the banana tree. One tree is going to go, but I'll still have the jackfruit here. So I'm still, once we put up the fence during the parallelogram, I'm still learning the microclimates that are in my yard
Mhm.
and the shade that, hits the plants during certain times of the day. But it would be a challenge. That's why I only need, acre or two.
Mhm.
I'm on a postage stamp right now. So pretty much even a
Right.
half an acre is an upgrade.
Right.
And Theron loves his lawn stuff. I don't know how he'll feel about it. We move somewhere if he'll still want to do the push mower. Like he does it
Mhm.
now. And it's not the push mower. It's forward drive. I got
Mhm.
that when his back went out. We had a push mower and it was just too much. Our grass in the front is so thick that I couldn't do it. I was like,
Yeah.
we need like what my dad had. We've got to get something that's got forward drive now that your
Yeah.
back's back.
That's what I have, and it's a godsend.
Yes. It was a godsend. He saw it. I got a Craftsman actually.
Mhm.
And it was slightly used. It was like a person who was completely retired from doing yard work. He's like, I'm not going to use this anymore, so I'll give it to
Mhm.
you at a good price. And then we sold I think we had a Snapper at the time, which was an excellent mower. It just
Mhm.
physically, we couldn't do it with two bad backs in the house.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's where it pushes from, is basically your core and all around when you're
Mhm.
pushing, and your legs, but it's a lot of core work.
Mhm.
But yeah, I told Theron, I said, if we ever did get a property that was an acre or more, I'd rather he got a ride on,
Yeah.
So we'll see. Well, I don't know. I'm open. I don't want to get ahead of God either, because that never
Right.
works out well.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Still waiting on God to see what he has for us. Still looking though. I look at different areas and just wonder, because
Yeah.
I get concerned about us losing the equity that we have now in this house after we went through that after Hurricane Wilma, when the housing market crashed
Mhm.
and we watched our equity pretty much disappear. We got out just in time to actually just only get 50,000, but it was still enough to help us to jump into this county.
Yeah. We
Oh, a
could,
Troy Hill. Nice.
we got out before our equity dropped in our other house in Oregon, and so that was nice.
Yeah,
It was
Troy's are nice too.
Mhm.
Storms. Troy's are a good one too. Yeah, thank God. Yeah, and that's what I'd like to be able to do. I'd like to, of course, time it just so perfectly. Like if God would do this, I'd be so happy that we sell this, get the most equity out of it. And as we are moving to another area, possibly rent for a year while the housing market goes down. So we're able to use that equity fully, get the most for our money, basically.
Right.
Get the most for our money. Because right now it's just lateral moves. And
Right.
without his job funding us, no, we've got to be able to at least buy off the house
Yeah.
and not have to worry about a mortgage, or at least keep it so low. And with the mortgage percentage being super high, the amount that we would carry is so much lower to equal the payment that we have now.
hmm
Because I don't know what it was the last time I checked, but I mean, we've got a low percentage rate, and we're still watching it go super high because of the insurance here, not because of anything else. It's the homeowner's insurance.
Right.
But any other questions, my dear?
So what is your favorite thing to grow? We'll end it there.
Oh, well, of course, it's bananas because they're set it and forget it here. I don't have to do much with them. Just put them out in the yard. But yesterday I was like, I don't know if I'm liking these bananas anymore. They're, when you go to harvest, they're a lot of work. But yeah, I can't argue with like banana. This is a small rack, and I've got a bowl full of bananas. I want to look into using how you use the banana flour because supposedly you can make tea out of it. That's supposed to be medicinal. That's what the neighbor did. I gave her my last banana flour and some bananas, and she said she made a tea out of it. And they're from Haiti, so I'll have to ask her what it was for. But you can see it's so cool. Even in the flowers, you can still see there's the female flowers that become your bananas.
Oh, wow.
The big male flower that comes out. These lift up. This will fall off, like naturally, of course.
Yeah.
And this is what forms your hands of bananas, is all these little tiny flowers. Also, a banana is actually considered a berry, if you're still here. It's a berry. And I had just realized that, or made that connection. And Diva is allergic to berries. And she said it to me. I had the berry stem with me.
Yeah.
That I wanted to talk about it on one of my lives. And she's like, yeah, I can't have bananas because they're berries. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I said, I just pulled this off my banana to show it looks just like a cherry stem.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, oh, thanks, Barry. Yeah, they are pretty. I think the banana flowers are really pretty, and they have a really nice, sweet smell outside. Somebody said they ate these things. They're disgusting. I'm sorry. I can't do it. It's like one of those things you eat where it's like,
Yeah.
need to wipe my tongue. But yes, bananas. Bananas will always be that, and mulberries. To set it and forget it.
Right.
Hopefully jackfruit will be next.
Yes. They were selling jackfruit at the Sam's Club here. Very expensive.
They're very expensive. But if you get one, you will have baby jackfruits. You can try it. If you have a place to put it during your colder months, they're easy to sprout, and they fruit. At least here, they can fruit within 4 years, I believe it is. Like really short seed to tree to fruit time. I know somebody in Georgia who's doing it.
Okay.
He brought a jackfruit, and now he has I think he said 10. It was a crazy amount of little baby trees that he's got going. It's the one who the channel who was on with me and Diva, J3GS, and he's been on in the morning with me. Farm,
Yeah.
He's got.
He was in my last live, or
Yeah.
at my last live.
Yeah, the last daytime live.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We've got goldfish being poured out. But thank you for having me. I hope I didn't,
No.
too much.
No, I got to learn more about you, about your gardening and what grows and what your plans are.
Yeah.
I mean, because we talk about stuff, but it's always, it's always
depth. Yeah, exactly.
So
what have you found? Well, you got that super soil locally, but are there any bag soils that you like for your, like when you're doing pots? Food.
What's the one with the frog on it? That's
Oh, you use the Happy Frog
the Happy Frog is really
from
good.
Fox Farms? Yeah,
Mhm.
I've heard that's really good. I haven't used that, but I have their
Trish,
liquid fertilizers. Hey,
good to
Trish
see
Wiley.
you.
Yeah, I have one of their liquid fertilizers that looks awfully much like a channel stole the.
Mhm. So I'm going to drop the link and invite more people up. You can
Whee!
stay at home, whatever you want to do. But
Fun times. Thank
I,
you, Hannah. Did you get the stickers away from him? Is there stickers out over there? Okay, give me a second. While you're doing that, I'm going to go see what I need to remove from in front of
okay.
him.
So people are welcome up, and as long as you're good boys and girls. I want to do the first hour at least for gardening, and we got kind of started late, so I let it go over a little bit. But now it's just free form, free fun, all of that good stuff. And I'll be right back too. Let's take a minute here to have a break, and we will be right back. Let me see if I can just put, let me see here. I need to make a "we'll be right back" sign. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to get a banana after talking about all those bananas. Good to see you, Trish. I haven't seen you in a while. I really enjoyed hanging out with Carol, learning about her gardening. I think she'll be right back. She's just checking on Em. We're getting ready for our pigs.
Are you? Woo! Chicken!
Started putting up their pen yesterday. We went shopping for all their stuff.
I think I have entered I'm a Fishes and Loaves life on StreamYard. I don't know why it does that. That's my backup channel. Also for going in and seeing some like older lives. I should put it Fishes and Loaves life too, so they know that it's really me and not a troll using my name.
Yeah.
I should get all my friends to. Ooh, bananas.
Banana.
Yeah. Mine won't be ready for a while. I'm actually giving a small tree to, there's a Filipina at my dental office. I need to bring her. I told her I'd bring her in one because her parents do gardening. And she was telling me what they grow. And I was like, oh, I said, you know those bananas that you guys make down in the Philippines and you steam them and you make that dessert? And she's like, yeah. I said, well, I have one that's kind of similar. It's not the same. And I said, but I'll bring you one if you want. Like, she was like,
So
oh, really?
Up there, they're not obviously like these. These are.
No, this is I believe it's a Thai hybrid that I have. It's like a cooking banana, but it can ripen and be a sweet banana too. Like, but you could cook with it right now. And that's what the Filipina did in that video. I don't know if Bob sent that to you too, where she's actually making what I have. It's a Discoria alata
Mhm.
yam. Again,
Mhm.
David the Good, that's from him. The purple yam, and then she, in the same pot, has bananas steaming with the skin on.
Mm.
And they were green when they went in. And when she takes out her perfectly steamed ubi, or Discoriolata, you can see they turned yellow. It was the
Mm.
wildest thing. And then she'll
Mhm.
eat that. She'll eat her yam while she's waiting on the rest of the stuff to steam down.
Mm.
And then what she has is a huge mortar and pestle, like almost as tall as they are.
Wow.
And they crush it down. They crush the banana with the peel down,
Mhm.
and they add like a coconut milk and coconut sugar to it, and they eat it like poi, like how the Hawaiians eat that poi.
Mhm.
They eat it like that, like it's just kind of a paste
Yeah.
ish. So I don't know if it would appeal to me, but it's probably very tasty with the
Mhm.
coconut milk and sugar in it. It's probably super sweet.
Yeah. I bet you it is. I mean, my husband likes to make the plantain and cook that
Mhm.
up, and we have it with like a sour cream sugary kind of,
Mhm.
and he'll make that with eggs, fried eggs, and black beans. A
Yum.
special kind of black bean though. It's not even um yeah. And so he's
Does
just
he make
makes
it with Cuban black beans?
yeah, I
You
think so.
make the Cuban style? Yeah, oh. And then you can make with Cuban black beans and yellow rice, you make this stuff. It's not like the mojito in store. You make your own, so you have the actual chopped up onion and garlic in there with a
Mhm.
little bit of vinegar. It's not as
Bob,
acidic as the one in the store. Hey, Bob!
the link's above if you want to come on.
It's
Yeah, it's
so yummy.
it is so yummy. But
I've never had it with eggs. It's usually with chicken. I've had it with
mm,
chicken, like
yeah,
however they do their chicken is just skin's always
yeah,
crispy, so yummy.
yeah,
I think they finish it off sometime, like they'll cook it, but then I think sometimes they finish it off and go in those Cuban presses, the
yeah.
panini presses.
Hmm.
Are you eating now? You need a moment.
We'll give you
Oh
a
yeah,
moment, love. We'll
oh
give you
yeah,
a moment.
eating. Oh yeah, that thing called eating. I just realized. Do I even have? What am I making for dinner tonight?
Oh, I know.
What did I
Oh,
do? Oh,
oh,
we can have fish. I have
I'll
plenty
be
of
right
fish.
back. I need to go
Okay.
take out my pizza dough.
Mm,
We're
good
having
thing we
pizza.
said dinner.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I have no bread. Actually, I cheated yesterday and I had bread and I had government cheese and boar's head uh, ham on that is naturally smoked, and it was so good on my gluten-free bread. But I only had one, so I stayed under my carbs for the day. Barry, and Bob, and Nate, and Trish. I don't know where like a lot of people are today. I guess it's just because it's a Monday, and it was a crazy Monday for me. I'm just sitting here strengthening my hands and fingers with putty that Malachi combined. Oh no. I thought you meant like the road on YouTube. Okay. Interesting. Barry, poor thing. You're always getting surrounded by the riffraff. Wish you could get out of there. I have to say, we have pretty good neighbors right now. I hope they stay that way. The only problem is, of course, is the good neighbor has the son that will hop our fence and has special needs. But other than that, they're good neighbors. Barry was saying he possibly has riffraff moving in across from him.
Oh no, that's not good. No, I make my own pizza dough and I freeze it.
Oh, and then you freeze it so you have it and just have to
Mm-hmm.
bring it up to temp.
Because yeah, it makes like 5 big pizzas, but we make our personal pizzas size.
I
And
love
then
that idea.
yeah, I love.
I would love to get what Diva has, which is the the wood fire oven for outside. I think that would be such a good ad.
My brother-in-law has a wood fire oven, but um, he was saying that I don't know if you have this problem, but the getting the middle cooked I cooked
Mm.
mine in the oven, but I put it on a pizza stone.
Yeah, I think that's the key is the pizza stone, and maybe they're not rotating it. I'm not sure. Like you have
Mhm.
to rotate. You see them, the pizza makers, they go in
Yeah, they
with the
rotate it.
peel and they rotate it.
He says he
So you-
rotates it, but it's still, if he piles it up too high in the middle, it doesn't cook all the way through.
That's probably what it is right there. It's just
Yeah.
that he's loading it too much, and it's what it's doing is it's cooking down and wetting the dough down
Mm-hmm.
while it's cooking. What? He's probably putting on too many raw ingredients, like raw veggies.
Yeah.
No, give me that, please. Did you just pull that out of the plant? Come here. Come here. Thank you. This was in our proud to be an American. And this was in my plant.
So my mother-in-law is going in for surgery, and then my two baby boys over here are going in for their surgery tomorrow.
Oh, the we're not going to be sold as studs surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Poor.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't hate you guys too much.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we won't see them on top of each other anymore.
Oh. Exactly, or on top of
You know.
guests that come over on their
No, they
leg
haven't
and
done
things.
that, thank God. It's just
You're poor, especially with your
each
mother-in-law with her hip. That would be horrible. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a Saturday night sitcom. It's so bad.
Yeah.
That's awful. But yeah, hopefully it might mellow them out a little bit too, is what I've heard. All the men in the audience are like, no.
This one right here, he was a stud.
Hmm.
And I got him at 2 years old, and he still thinks he needs to do that. No, not
Of
to
course,
be
he's Norman.
Yeah,
Norman
he's
the little stud.
Norman.
Stormin'
He
Norman.
just needs to dominate everybody, not people, but all
No,
the other.
thank God. No, not people. Gosh, no.
No, thank God it's not people.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
Hey,
Exactly.
leave my onions alone, Bubba.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do they like to eat your garden? All the dogs?
Yes.
Hold on.
That is why we have an electric fence around my garden to keep the dogs out. And it doesn't work for the rabbits, but I thought it would work for the rabbits too. We have rabbit problems here, big time, and mice, and yeah, those are our issues. What are you doing, Bubba?
Oh.
But
Not without mommy or sissy.
there's a Bobby.
Hey, boy.
Hey.
Morning, guys.
So what did you have for lunch?
Lunch.
Just a can of chili and cheese, man.
Yum.
Went out, ran some errands, came back home, about ready to pass out from starvation. So I had to grab something quick.
Malachi, where are you?
Can't go wrong with chili and cheese.
Right?
I like
That
a
sounds
little
really
crisp
good.
onion on there too. Some hot peppers.
I need some ground some meat and make some chili. That sounds really good.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah. Homemade chili sounds good.
Mrs. is in the doghouse now, so
Oh no.
yeah.
Didn't leave stuff for you to eat?
All right, that and no hug and no kiss when she went to work.
Uh-oh.
Fired again.
What did you do, Bob?
That's right. That's more like it. Yep.
Well, we went out on a date night last night, and we were sitting there. There's a great saxophonist and great concert, real professionals. And I'm like, come on, man, we got to go eat. I'm getting hungry. We got to go eat. And I said, look, let's just go eat. Yeah. No, well, why don't we wait for us? No, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I gotta go eat. Well, I'm diabetic. I gotta eat.
Yes.
So I took a glucose tab that helped smooth it out for about a half an hour, and then I went, we gotta eat. you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
bye-bye.
so I'm kind of in the doghouse for that because she didn't
Mhm.
get to finish the concert, but we were sitting there for like over an hour and a half listening to this beautiful band, and
Wow.
that's what started it. And then I'm not the smartest guy in the world, to
You
follow up.
you didn't pack snacks, huh? Should probably.
No, we didn't. They won't allow you to bring stuff in.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it was like
Uh,
inside. Okay, I was
yeah,
for some reason
yeah.
I'm thinking Florida, outdoor amphitheater style.
What
Okay.
what kind of concert was it?
It was. He's a well-known saxophonist with a. Well, oh boy, he's got a great band. They're all real professionals, mature people. The
Mhm.
type of band that doesn't have to look at the guitar while they're playing.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
get it? That kind. I got a couple photos. I can't remember the
So
name
does
of
mature mean old?
that too. Hmm.
Mhm. Careful.
Yeah,
Be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
I can kind of give you a little.
You're fine.
Where are we at here? Give you an idea of the band. Great band. The leader of the band travels between here and Las Vegas. And he's got his own show down in Las Vegas, so quality.
Watch out.
But we didn't get to finish
Elmo
it.
frog.
And this place is if you get up and leave your chair, it's out.
Yeah.
You're out. She
Oh, it was okay.
yeah.
That type.
It's in a casino.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you get up, that's it.
Mm-hmm. It's like general admission. I couldn't think of the term. It's like a general admission. It's not a ticketed seat kind of situation. Oh, but I bet they had some. Did they have some good food there at the casino, or did you have to leave the casino?
Yeah, there's multiple restaurants. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had made reservations because we've run into this problem before. If you don't reserve someplace in the casino at nighttime, you're going to be eating hot dogs, which and we can't be bothered with those poor people. You say.
We had hot dogs the other night when I didn't feel like making anything. When my hubby was in the doghouse, I said, "Well, here's dinner." Give him 2 hot dogs on a plate. There you go.
Yeah, there's a little view of the band right there.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh, he's a great saxophonist. I mean, real professional.
Nice.
With excellent concert, but we couldn't finish it because it's like, okay, the glucose tab wore off. I need to eat, No, so and it went from there, And I just looked at her. I said, "You're a healthcare professional. I'm 60 years old and I've got health problems.
You should have snuck me in a snack, honey."
Or
yeah, in that big purse. You should have put a hoagie in there or something.
Quit giving me the silent treatment.
Mm-hmm.
This is my body now. Deal with it. You can't get everything you want, honey. That's life. 60 years old, diabetic. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, so she left for work today with no food and no hug and no kiss. So I sent her a message. I said, "Straighten up and fly right, or no toys for you."
No toys.
I'm not saying a word.
Mm-mm.
Pause. That's the new thing. Pause.
Pause.
If something goes south, can go south in the chat or in the live, you just go pause.
Pause.
Laughing so hard with that. I learned that from Miss T with the T through other people, through J3GS, and I learned it through.
Some of us are trying to be good these days, but our mind still goes there.
That's right, because we're adults. Yeah,
we have to. Yeah, we have to.
Been around for a while.
Ponder. And
yes,
Lord, I repent.
I know. That's
no. You see, see both your minds went right in the gutter. It says new toys.
Get over here.
No toys. That could mean almost anything.
Over.
Yeah. Hey, JR.
Hi, CR.
Hey, CR. Good to see you.
GR.
Well, I was as far as gardening, we'll stay on the top, but I just transplanted a petunia that I bought the other day, and it's up in our master bathroom in the window right now. with a little bone meal, little blood meal, some of my own homemade fertilizer, and
Nice,
hopefully
Bob.
hopefully a little, and I'm planting some seeds, getting them started in little cups. Nasturtiums, the long
Oh, I love
nasturtiums.
nasturtiums. That's what I missed,
Yeah,
our
I do too.
nasturtium season.
Yeah.
It's going to get
Nice.
too hot. I might just throw some down anyway. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's what I want to do, creative. I keep forgetting to pull out my microgreen. I have the trays. And I have
The microgreens.
for the microgreens, I have broccoli, radish, and somebody sent me sunflower.
Right on.
But I want to try the broccoli and the radish first. Sunflower,
Mhm.
I don't know if I'd like it too much. I'm not sure. But the broccoli greens are supposed to be really good for you and kind of anti-cancer. There was a guy who juiced them and blasted his cancer out of his body. Oh, that didn't sound right.
Yeah.
I bet he did.
I know what that feels like. It sucks.
I'm sure at our age, many of us know what that feels like. Little norovirus with that diet of yours. Oh, you're trying to. Oh, let me know how they taste. Do they taste like the sunflower seeds?
Yeah, for me it was like, am I supposed to be urinating blood? Is this normal? That was my cancer. Oh, something went wrong. Good morning.
Awesome. Yeah, they are good in salad, Trish, the nasturtiums. I did that a long time ago in my 20s. I brought a huge salad and had nasturtium flowers and stuff in it. And they were like, flowers in the salad? I was like, yeah, you can eat them.
I used to eat those when I was a little kid out there in my mom's flower bed. Mom, these taste like they're nice and sweet. Oh, don't eat my flowers.
They have like a peppery sweetness to them. I like them.
They are tasty.
You ate a nasturtium today, or your sunflower sprouts today? I'm not a fan of bean sprouts, creative redundancy. Like when I was ever given like bean sprouts on top of things, but it's probably because I didn't grow them. Like, like you get them in a restaurant and who knows how old they were.
I've had bean sprouts and they taste a little beany, but I didn't care for them.
A little beanie. I guess so.
I like the texture of bean sprouts. They're crisp.
I do like that. Yeah. The crisp and like refreshing, kind of watery.
Yeah.
That's actually like when people talk about, it's not so, how do you say that? Mucilaginous. I don't know if that's a true word, but that it's a, everybody can pretty much grow it down here because it's a weed. It's related to the moss rose, but it's not the moss rose. It just went right on my head. Anyway, you can eat it like that, and it's kind of got that pop to it, like the leaves when you're eating them. And it's supposedly loaded with like omegas, like a natural occurring omega. It'll come to me.
Have you all ever had Vietnam soup? It's called pho, P-H-O.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know that's how you said it for so long.
Pho.
My daughter had to tell me.
Yeah. I like to drop the bean sprouts in last because they serve that soup to you scalding hot right out of the cauldron.
Yep.
And I drop the bean sprouts in last. That way they say kind of crisp while you're eating the soup. Delicious. Good stuff. Good stuff.
That sounds good. Well, I'll use sunflowers actually in my salad instead of croutons, and I love that contrast, the crunchy contrast.
They're so good for tummy fat.
Yeah. Yep. So yummy. I might actually, I have salad. Maybe that's what I'll make is a big salad and fish. I'm not sure because now I want chili. It'll probably be fish. It'll be easier to cook, and we've got like fresh salmon that.
I haven't had a hot dog in so long.
If CR is not hungry, there's something wrong.
I know. Always making CR hungry.
Yeah.
I forget what we were talking about, and he was like, "Yeah, not hungry now." I don't remember what it was that night. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not hungry." Hey, Andy Gardner, you made it.
CR, how
Nice
many
to see
times did I
you.
fire you this week? Once or more than once? Did I fire him? It's a weekly event, usually on Shadows Live.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He gets fired from me, you know.
Oh, CR does?
Yeah, almost every week, at least once a week,
Mhm.
time and time again. Yeah.
Andy, you got to try the
Endless.
nasturtiums if you like peppery. You know, try it first outside the salad, but they're perfect for the salad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to have to actually really wash that flour well, some kind of little light.
Are they like mustard greens? Do they
Not as
have that
hot.
kind
Not
of-
as hot. They're
Not
not as
as
hot as mustard greens, the
Oh, okay.
nasturtiums.
Yeah.
You guys are savages.
And Aid has to eat before watching your videos.
You guys
The
are
ones where
like
she's making all the cinnamon rolls and bread goodies and stuff. Yeah.
savages.
I can't
Eating
watch
the
them while I'm on
beautiful
keto.
nasturtiums. Shame on you guys. Eating those beautiful flowers.
Hey.
Delicious.
Why do you think
They
I'm
are.
on a diet now? Because of those
Mhm.
those videos.
Yeah, I didn't dare get into sourdough bread before. I need to lose first. I don't want to top this weight off.
Right.
Because I love bread. Love bread. I used to
I
make
stopped cooking sourdough bread just because of that. Because
you
Chris is
were
like,
always
"I'm-
partaking of it.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's just so good. It's
course.
always fresh. It's
Smells so good. Makes the house
And
smell
now-
fantastic.
now I've perfected some pizza crust, and now guess what? My husband wants every other night.
Oh no.
Well, all right, ladies,
Is it
I'll tell
good?
you this right now. If I see you out in my yard eating my nasturtiums, I'll only give you pepper spray, and then I'll run you off. All right? I'll take it easy on you. Don't eat my nasturtiums.
Oh my
Dudes,
goodness.
you're always making my lights go out. Talking to my dogs.
I've got to start filming when I actually make food. I don't. It always is like, oh, I should have filmed that.
You know what? You should do some filming of gluten-free foods, like how to cook them.
I don't make a lot of gluten-free from scratch, and right now I'm not touching it. I'm not having the carbs.
Yeah.
And even the keto, I'm like, I don't think necessarily even the keto, the way I'm doing it now with the dairy, is that great for my body. I have to probably go into a Whole30 for a month and drop dairy, and sugar's already dropped, but I did fall off the wagon and try honey, and sure enough, my stomach did not like it. My stomach
really?
did not. Yeah, the times that I have done it, but I mix it with cinnamon in my yogurt, my plain yogurt. So it's like, okay, well, is it the honey, going back on a little bit of honey, fructose, or is it the cinnamon? Is the cinnamon irritating my stomach? So I have to separate those two out and try again. But the dairy too is, it's cow's breast milk.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's got hormones, no matter what.
I think we're just going to grow some regular cows. I don't know if I'll do dairy cows here because we just don't drink that much milk.
Bob, what are you doing there? What is that?
That's the drainage for the bottom of my house plants.
Oh, okay. It'll feed the soil eventually. It'll break down and feed the soil.
Exactly. Little tree trimmings make them over here in my homemade fertilizer process.
Yeah.
And it's a little natural drainage, and that's what I do.
Gosh, now I actually want, I don't know, I want some Cuban beans and rice and spicy chicken, like Cajun style though, more than Cuban. And I can't have rice right now. I do have that frozen cauliflower rice pilaf stuff. It's got like veggies in it just to try it, but I'm not a fan of cauliflower. It's not. I eat all kinds of veggies, but the smell of cauliflower affects the way it tastes to me. And
oh yeah.
Oh, you're so.
My husband won't eat cauliflower too.
No, I love broccoli.
My mother-in-law loves it, so I have it.
Yeah, I love broccoli. I'll eat Brussels sprouts. I'll eat cabbage, but it's something about the cauliflower that it's just extra farty.
You guys should come over here and eat a dinner that I prepare.
We'll have bread and water and a hot dog rolled in a moist paper towel in the microwave.
microwave hot dogs and bread and water. There you go.
Yeah.
My
Awesome.
husband's a really good cook.
Yes, you
I
lucked
can't
out
eat
there.
most of his cooking because it's like too salty, but
Oh,
man,
yeah,
he
that's
can cook.
right.
He can cook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that with
I
you guys.
cook a little bit, but yeah.
I'm a little jelly. My husband's more like Bob.
Mm.
Can heat up something. You can give him a
Yeah.
can of something and he'll heat it up. Or he'll
I'm
even
good.
eat it right out of the can because that's a GI. They'll do that.
Yeah,
They'll just
I used to
open the
do that.
can and eat it right out.
Eat right out
Well,
of the
my
can.
husband can cook, but a lot of like him and his mother, they do a lot of stuff out of cans. So it's not like from scratch kind of thing.
Yeah, I get it.
And so,
Gotcha. That's high in sodium if it's
Yeah.
in a can.
You don't want microwave hot dogs? What's wrong with you guys?
Hey, that's what I gave him. We had the night he was in the doghouse, but at least I made fresh coleslaw to go with it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. But yeah,
Fresh coleslaw says you're in trouble, but the coleslaw says I still
Yeah.
love you.
yes, exactly.
there you go.
Microwave hot dog is your warning, and the coleslaw is there's grace there if you would just be nice.
Mm.
Was nice or was
I made a
right.
lot of
Can't-
coleslaw out of the cabbage I grew.
Yeah, I would love to. I don't think I can head up cabbage here because it just doesn't stay cool enough.
No, probably doesn't.
My area.
Likes it cool.
Like how long is that even for? Do you know for even a small cabbage head?
It takes a while.
Right? It's like over 100 days.
Yeah, it's
isn't it?
like 110 days or something
I
like that.
thought so. Okay, yeah. I don't think
Pretty
I have,
decent size one.
yeah, I don't think I have that many cool days. I wonder if I could do it inside. Can you do cabbage hydroponically? I know you can do like tatsoi and the Asian cabbages, but
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you can do anything that like heads up like that. You can do regular like lettuces, romaine, but that actual
Isn't bok choy
round
kind of like bok choy, or that's kind of
bok
like
choy, tatsoi,
Yeah.
they're all the
Mhm.
same kind of.
It is.
and you
Yeah,
can kind of make that, like stuff out of that, but you'd have to have like
Yeah. They have their own, I forget what the name of that cabbage is. Is it Savoy cabbage that's straight up and it's like
Yeah.
they make kimchi out of it.
yeah,
That might work.
that may work. Yeah,
I would have
Yeah.
to try it though, like buy some at the store and try it as a coleslaw to see if it's
yeah. I love kimchi.
comparable.
I should get some of those.
I would love to make my own kimchi because I can't eat the
You have to
It
tie
has to
those,
be-
just like you have to tie celery. You put a nice little,
so
tie
they
around
don't.
it. So
do
that
this.
celery wants to do this.
Oh,
And-
okay.
And so does that kind
I
of
didn't know that about celery. Okay, so I really was growing celery
Yeah.
from the base. It was doing
need
all
to,
that.
You need to bring it up, tie it up together, and then you have to put the soil up around it on the bottom
Oh, uh-huh.
because otherwise you don't want it green. There's a reason why it's so white in the stores
Okay.
because if it's green, it's bitter. So you want it to not have the light around the roots. About
Shut the light
halfway
off.
up the stalk. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Hothouse rhubarb is like that. We'll take the roots, put them inside of a long, dark greenhouse, basically. It's
Mhm.
a tar paper greenhouse, and then hit it with heat and water for 3 months, and then it grows pink, yellow flowers with pink stalks. It's very fragile, but that's I
Interesting.
spent years picking that every weekend in high school.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
During the winter.
Yeah.
Hothouse rhubarb. I'm not sure if you can even buy it anymore or not, but
Yeah, it would be small cabbages, right, Storms, if I tried to do it hydroponically or here in the soil. They would be. But I did see some big ones at our extension, I think, but I didn't notice if they were the type, because there's that other one that's more loose. The cabbage looks like cabbage at first,
Yeah.
but then you notice it doesn't form the tight head in the center.
Yeah.
It's a bit more of a loose cabbage. And it's not the one that they use in kimchi, although I'm sure you could. It's not
That's
that
Right.
tight.
Yeah, you probably could with that
Yeah.
one.
But I like cabbage. I must be the Irish in me.
The Irish in you.
The Irish. My Irish. Needs the cabbage and the ham or the corned beef. Terrible at Irish. My terrible Irish accent only
I
comes
love
out
that.
right when I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah, some of
I
our
love-
farmers growing up would grow like 5 acres of cabbage,
Mhm.
but
Hmm.
it's beautiful or whatever. But after it's harvested, and because they'll peel the outside leaves and throw it on the soil.
Right.
Yeah,
Ooh, baby, the smell
when it's
after
rotten,
Yeah.
oh,
rotting
Smells like
down.
rotten
our
guts.
school bus would go
Drive
by
by.
5
I
acre
remember
patches.
that.
Oh,
I remember traveling up to PA, and it must be cabbage season in a bunch of
Oh.
places on the way up because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, cabbage.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to grow a lot of cabbage this year, and because I was like, oh man, sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. All these things I'm thinking of. I like this, but
Yeah,
you don't connect that that's cabbage.
no,
That's the
you
problem
don't.
with this world is that we don't connect with what it comes from.
Yeah.
It's like the same with our meat. We don't connect that it actually comes. We want steak. It's not a cow.
Yeah.
It's steak.
Mhm.
No,
You
it's
know,
just steak.
And so, yeah,
Soon it won't be a cow. It'll be a printer. Yay!
Yeah. yeah.
Just go get it printed up at the store. Beep,
And,
beep, beep, beep,
because
beep.
the farmers won't be able to afford the carbon credits.
No,
Yeah.
right. Exactly. Can you imagine that that's like probably their
Yeah.
idea of the future?
Hey, Barry,
Hey, Barry, that we go in and
harvest
just
insects and
like
3D
press
print it into a
buttons and
steak.
have steaks. Yeah, have steaks
Yeah.
made of insect goo.
Yay! I own nothing and I'm so happy.
Yeah. I think that's where they were going with Wally. They would just put us all out to sea with the
Sorry.
weird substances we're sucking on. Remember Wally, where they had
Yeah.
all the really heavy people in chairs out on these cruises, and they were in lazy boys and just were being fed these smoothie things.
The stupid base just started artillery fire.
Oh, that's noisy, man. I used to
Yeah,
live out
yeah.
by Fort Lewis a long
So it's
time
this
ago. Mhm.
big old boom all the time.
Boom. Yeah.
That probably was where we were what we were talking about creative that day. I think we were talking about the worms that I don't know what Asian culture eats them, but they're the ones that are in the hulls of the old wood boats is how they found them. Yeah. Big, long, white, nasty, slimy worms. Yeah. Not my thing either, Bob. Not my
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. No
But
thanks. No
some
thanks.
culture found it and said, hey, we can eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
It makes you
people who
wonder.
are really hungry. Same with some places in Southeast Asia. They'll go out and the whole. I've seen this on a documentary where they have these wicker baskets and the whole village will go out in the rice fields and pick them up and set them straight down. You know what they're capturing is rats that eat the rice. And I saw it on, the little village had this huge steel wok, enormous, full of boiling peanut oil, and dump them in. Yeah, right. Yep.
Friend of
Skin,
mine said that was
tail.
a backdoor business to doctors in certain cities that were Asian was the
Mhm.
restaurants would fry up a rat. That might have been you, my friend, that told me
Could
that.
be.
Fry up a rat and get them delivered.
Mhm.
Backdoor
Could be.
business. Hmm.
But I was speaking with some other Southeast Asians when I brought that topic up. They said they'll do that with the farm rats because they're eating rice.
Yeah.
They're not eating garbage. The city
Yeah,
rats.
don't do it with
Oh.
city rats. Yeah.
Mm-mm,
It's a
mm-mm,
farm rat.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would eat a
Yeah.
farm rat if I'm starving. Like a farm rat. I
Yeah.
They eat muskrat all the time. You see it in Alaska, and they're happy about it. Oh, I got a muskrat. I'm like, it's a rat, just ginormous. Like, okay. When I first watched it, I'm like, okay, I guess.
It's disgusting.
But yeah, knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
I knew a fella in the Air Force. He was prior stationed up in Alaska, and
Mhm.
one day a year they would have a big meal like that.
Yeah.
Everything wild around the air base. And they'd bring it in and they'd grill it all up, and it's anything you can think of.
Mhm.
That lives in Alaska, anything. And they said, hey, it was good, man. It was better than chow hall food. So
Wow. My uncle during Vietnam War, they ate quite a few rats because they were starving.
Starving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on how hungry you are, what you'll eat. That's
Yep.
true.
And you need
Pretty-
protein. You got to have
pretty much.
protein.
Yeah, you do.
Pretty much any kind of meat, as long as you get it hot enough or
Yeah.
long enough, it will wipe out the tapeworms
Parasitic and
yeah.
Mhm.
that's the thing I was watching about sushi was they were showing in a lab like
I
the
saw that.
freezing will kill the worms, but the
Uh-huh.
eggs are still very much alive
Uh-huh.
that are in the sushi is what they
Not
showed.
very
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I like sushi.
you might want to do a parasite cleanse because you're eating live parasitic eggs.
I've heard the Japanese have to do that fairly frequently. The ones who eat sushi,
Yeah.
they have to do that.
Yep. I don't eat raw. Mm-mm.
So
But I used to eat raw oysters, and it makes me wonder. I have to ask, will it
Yeah.
grow about that? Like if they are known to have any kind of parasitic
Yeah.
thing.
I've liked raw oysters too.
Oh, I used to love them.
Barry,
But
you
that
don't want to go. You don't want to go hang out in Cambodia or Laos or someplace like that. Where
Yeah,
no?
I'm good here on American soil. Thank you.
Okay.
right? You keep meeting people. I hope you don't meet them. That doesn't sound right. Don't meet them. Don't turn them into meat, CR.
Geez, CR, I never thought you would be a cannibal, but
I know. I'm
You
getting
know,
a little
guy.
concerned.
My chickens are cannibals. They eat chicken.
Yeah,
They are.
they're crazy.
They're
Mhm.
dinosaurs, guys.
They are.
They
Yeah.
just got
But I
smaller,
literally feed them eggs sometimes because I have too
Sure.
many eggs. So what do you
Sure.
do with
Oh
them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Break
They'll
them
eat
up
all
and
of it.
scramble them.
Mhm.
I used to do that with our birds.
Yeah,
I like my food cooked too in there.
that's what they do in
In
impoverished countries. Is they feed the baby chicks
hmm
scrambled eggs.
Yeah, to give them strength and nutrition,
Mhm.
Really?
Mhm.
calcium.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah.
That's what I used to feed my parrots when they seemed like they just needed a boost. I'd scramble an egg and crush the shell right into it and mix it all
Mhm.
together and give them a little bit.
Bring them
And
right
they'd
to
eat.
life.
They'd
Huh?
get this. Yeah, they get the calcium that they need.
Mhm.
Autocorrect food edition. Yeah, now y'all are making me hungry because all I've had is coffee so far.
Oh,
That's 3. I know. I end up eating way too late at night. I've got to break that habit. But then, we go on lives late at night and we talk about food because we're gardeners and
right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hungry
And
before
you're
bed.
Yeah.
I used some of that neem oil when I was trimming one of the shrubs outside. I noticed it was getting some black spots and some little bit of leaf curl, and I trimmed part of the shrub and then I sprayed what I trimmed underneath the leaves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's see how that all works out. Plus that tree, it has these big beautiful flowers,
Yeah.
and they just get packed full of stink bugs.
Mm.
Just full of them, man. It would gross me out because I was picking the dead blossoms off, and stink bugs all over inside of them. So
Yeah.
let's
I've heard
cross your
some
fingers.
people have used. Have you ever used the crushed garlic in your sprays, Laura? Like a garlic spray
I haven't. I've heard
for
about
the
that.
stink bugs and what's the other one? The beetles that they get up north that cover everything. They'll just come through and they'll. Can't think of the name
The
of them.
June beetle.
Yes, the June bugs. Yep.
Yeah.
They use them for that, like a garlic spray.
Yeah.
But I don't thankfully get that bug.
We get the June beetles here, and we just spray, or we get these little catchers for them. They have an
okay.
attractor, and then they go for that attractor, and then they hit the side wall, and then they end up in a bag that they can't get out of.
Yay! I like that idea. That's like how they do fly traps at the barn for the flies.
I'm gonna look up a picture of June beetles. I'm not sure if we have those here or not.
Yeah.
Not sure.
I'll show you.
Yeah, they'll completely cover people's plants. That's what I noticed. I was like, whoa!
Okay.
I thought I had bug pressure, but sorry, he got into some of the boxes that are usually up higher.
So if that neem oil will work on the fungi that's starting and on the stink bugs, man, we're solid gold, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh, I had a funny. I'll make a video of it when I do it. You know, I planted some rhubarb last year, and a couple of them survived, and I had a rotten tree stump out in my backyard, and the water got in there and started freezing it and started pushing the rot out. So I cleaned it all out. Let's see those guys.
what was that?
I haven't seen those here. No.
Yeah, they're more. They're. I never saw them in the Northwest either, but they're here all over the
Yeah.
place.
And I don't see him here. I don't see him here this far south, thankfully.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't
They
come
are-
here because we have plenty of our own that we
Yeah.
deal with.
They love fruit trees and.
Good call, Barry.
Yeah.
But
They were all
watch out.
over.
Watch out for a video coming up on my channel about transplanting rhubarb. You'll see what kind of an unusual pot, flower pot or food rhubarb pot formed itself. You know, it's a biodegradable flower pot. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool, Bob. Sorry, I am putting things back together after little man tore them apart.
Well, Laura, you just keep those bugs over there, will you, please? We got enough
That's right.
here.
Yeah, you don't want my June bugs.
Yeah, no.
Do they eat what do they eat? The root or leaf?
Whatever they
Anything
want.
green.
Anything.
Whatever they land on.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're that
they
type.
devastate. That's why, like, I sprayed my trees
Mhm.
about 2 months ago. I got to spray them right before they got the little bulbs on them. As soon as those little flowers open, I got to spray them again because.
Yeah.
And then they'll devastate your whole crop. Like.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen them just land completely and cover fruit trees before up there too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm glad I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got into it. This is homeschooling.
Japanese beetle is basically the same thing as a June bug.
We have these little black beetles. You probably had them down in Oregon too, Laura, I would
Well,
guess.
we have them here too. Yeah.
What are those called?
I don't know. Let's
I-
look.
I know that sometimes I'll be here in the shop and they'll crawl in, and I don't know what they eat. I don't know, but I just step on them because I don't like them because they'll crawl across your feet and stuff. You know.
Are they're little? Like how little? Like the
yeah, about little, yeah, about
Oh,
the size of
okay.
a fingernail, something like that.
I forget what those are called. Are they like the scarab beetles that they have on the Egyptian stuff? Like, are they just solid black, or do they have some of that
They're
green?
solid black. Yeah, solid
They do
black.
have a black June beetle too, but
That might be it. Maybe there's a northern one.
I don't think the black ones fly though. I think they're just land bound only. I think.
well, the June beetle and the black June beetle, they kind of they fly, but they don't fly good. They're
Okay.
yeah. We have almost everything in this picture. I'll show you.
They need some pilot lessons. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I just northwest, and it's giving me east. Seattle Pest Control. It says, hold on.
Yeah, that's them.
Which
They're
ones?
around the kind of like the
Yeah,
ones
that's
in
what
the
I'm looking
center, like that in the center. Yeah,
This one?
yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yeah. We get these ones over here.
Oh, okay. I don't know what they eat. They
I
just,
had
they just,
like a bunch of these ones all dead in my front yard, and I don't know how that happened.
Mm.
That was weird.
There's quite a few that you guys have that are black. So it's
Yeah.
beetles of Washington, 121 found.
Mhm.
Dang. Maybe black blister beetle. There's the black vine weevil.
Yeah.
Cedar beetle. That's black.
Yeah, I was digging out weeds. So how I get the ingredients for the compost that I'm making or fertilizer is I go
Yeah.
out in the yard and I dig out weeds manually and then process it. But there's been quite a few grubs underneath the weeds. But guess what? They're now part of fertilizer because I throw them right on the hot plate, cook them.
We see these leaf beetles quite a bit over
Oh,
here. The red beetle, right
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a skin beetle,
Ew,
but
that
yeah.
sounds gross.
But the leaf beetle we see a lot.
There, I brought up that one website that I found too.
Okay.
140 or 130 with all the beetles.
Mm-hmm.
We go up because that was where the
I like that, Trish. You should read
cedar
what Trish wrote.
beetle,
Oh yeah, we get.
California root borer. Here's the black vine weevil that's on the bottom.
Oh, I
Black
see those
blister.
beetle scrubs all the time in my garden. These white ones,
The big grub, yeah, that
the big
beetle grub. We get them occasionally in
Yeah.
our.
Thing is,
Under
I
our-
have not seen a Japanese beetle in years over here, and I've been at this spot for 6 years.
Oh
Wow,
Well, just put up a fruit tree.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
That's right. Desert stink
I
beetle.
obviously don't have enough fruit trees.
Yeah.
Bob, could it be the dung beetle?
Next time you go, never mind.
came out of the neighbor's house. It's the one that doesn't want to get a pew pew.
Yeah.
Okay, they have a brown
Oh,
beetle
yeah.
right there. It's all black, number 46.
It's like the ones that's like the ones that are in my area there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that neighbor. He's too woke for me. I'm just gonna walk right around his place from now on.
Isn't that special?
Yeah, you can have your wokeness, but I'll just run to the other neighbors for protection. He's like, you freaking pussy.
Yeah.
Pussy.
Yeah, it's daytime TV.
Oh no.
You're canceled. Canceled.
Yeah, sorry, but
Yeah, no, you guys have a ton. I'm gonna look up ours. This is
Yeah.
like unbelievable. It just keeps going and going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, what we were talking about before, like, is this the black one that looks like a ladybug? The 7-spotted lady beetle?
No, I'm
Okay.
talking about an Asian ladybug.
All right.
It's not an Asian lady beetle is what it's called.
Oh, is this
Oh.
it? Maybe spotted pink lady beetle.
No,
But this
it's
one has
more
a-
like it looks just like a ladybug,
Mhm.
but the spots are not uniform, meaning they're not like the same roundness. It's like this yellow squash ladybug over here, our lady beetle.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
that
you've
one.
got June beetles out there. They're just weird looking, Bob.
Yeah,
This one's got
Yeah.
like bat ears on
I've
it.
seen them.
That
I've seen
way.
those. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Variegated June beetle. Water scavenger. We have those water bugs. They're gross.
Yeah.
So gross looking. I
We
think
have
that's
so
it.
many
And
weird-
the end. There we go.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
Have a lot.
Welcome
Oops,
to
sorry.
Washington. Hmm.
Yeah.
The willow
fly
version.
too. Oh, well, we have flying palmetto bugs that are like ginormous roaches that fly at you.
Oh yeah,
And then
I've
there's
seen those
the
overseas.
stink bug.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
Oh, boo. I don't ever want those here. Keep them.
Laura,
I
please
usually
don't
s-
say that too loud.
Yeah, right. They'll call their name and they'll come out of the woodwork.
I know.
Why don't you
I've
just
been
talk
dealing with
about
a
them?
lot of these here. And that's why the neem oil, I'm like spraying.
I get the one on the right, the gray ones. Well, no.
Yeah, that's the kind I get to.
Yeah, I get the gray ones and then like the tan. Not quite
really-
as dark as the one on the left.
They really like the squashes.
Oh,
Yeah.
They like the indoor. They like the inside of my house for some reason.
Yeah. They like, yeah. Exactly.
And Asian beetles, I have trouble with those too.
All right. I think I've got it somewhat picked up now. You just tore through this whole thing. All right. Sorry, guys. I was just trying to get control over this craziness.
So this is what it says on this website. What kills a stink bug? Soapy water.
Okay.
That's never worked for me, but
I
good.
think the person did put some soap in the garlic like mixture that they made and
yeah,
did it.
that helps
And
it stick. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed to work for them to get
Right.
them to stop landing. But that was the June beetle,
Oh,
June
okay.
bugs. You spray the plant down with it, and then they seem to kind of avoid it. You can
Okay, and
spray
then it
them with.
also has that mint, lavender,
Hmm.
all
Yeah,
these grasses, and those are deterrents.
Peppermint's supposed to be a big one.
Mhm.
Yep. And I love peppermint, so that wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah. Well, it also keeps away mice. A lot of these same things keep away a lot of other bugs,
Mhm.
too. So, I mean, the mint and the lavender will also keep away mosquitoes.
Hmm.
So,
They still love me no matter what. I have sweet blood. They won't
yeah,
touch my husband or my son, but they come right after me if we're
right.
out there together.
Yeah.
They always get me too in the worst spot. Like, how did I get one on my knuckle? I was
Right.
looking at my hands. When did that happen?
Right. When was I outside I didn't notice that it landed on my hand.
Exactly. What the heck?
Yeah,
And that's the worst to try and
I get it
itch.
on the ear a lot,
Oh,
and
I don't
then
like
it's like,
that.
oh, how did that happen?
Yeah, they like to get me in the back of the knees or like the back of the thigh when I'm doing my gardening because I'm bending over.
Right.
What's that? Mosquitoes or?
Mosquitoes. We were just
Oh.
saying what
Easy
keeps away.
veins too.
They were saying that
Mhm.
soapy water is supposed to be good for stink bugs too. Spraying soapy water on your
Oh,
plants,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
mint and lavender and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
This is my next project for today. I'm trying to wait till it warms up a little outside. Barely above freezing here, but I did
Yeah, I'm taking
Well,
it
did
for
it's
the
some
team.
70 here today.
yeah.
some trimming on my
About to
bonsai
say.
trees on
What we're at.
Friday, I think, and I've got to go put this goo over the wounds sometime today. That's
Yeah.
that's for pruning sealer or tree
Mhm.
bandage
Okay.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
hoping that it's just barely afternoon here, so maybe it'll warm up a little bit, but uh,
Yeah.
We are 74 with a low of 53 today. But
Oh,
our high is 76.
we just hit 41 here. When I woke up
Oh
this
my
morning, it was
gosh,
like
it's like baking you over there, Bob.
it's horrible.
hey, Carol, we are 74 also
Yeah.
Ooh,
I freaking
with a
hate you
low of
guys.
56.
I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate
Look at
you.
all
I
week.
hate
It's
you.
going to be beautiful all week.
I
Freaking
agree,
hate you
Trish.
guys.
We're
Those
supposed
are
to
the
have rain
worst.
Wednesday, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I
When I
don't
woke
care.
up this
I
morning,
can
it was like 36 or 37 when I got out of bed this morning. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
no
deal
thank
with
you.
that. I think it's a fair balance. We get, beautiful days and we'll get a couple that are warm and some rain
Yeah.
with it. And I can
Mhm.
deal with that.
It's just when it rains here, it just, like
Yeah.
Florida
Mhm.
knows.
Mhm.
It just dumps. Just
Dumps
dumps.
it.
Big time.
Yeah. And then the mosquitoes come after the rain. And we
Yeah.
get the nasty cane toads after the rains when it's really rainy.
Goshen prepping. Howdy.
Ocean prepping.
Hello.
I
Again.
think I have you. Let
I
me
saw
see.
that video of that toad in your son's toy.
Yes.
Now, you saw the huge toad that was in my backyard in the Philippines. Was
Yep.
that one of those that you don't want to touch it? It'll
You
poison
just
you?
take, Bob, you can usually take a picture of it and put it through Google to see.
That's
Sometimes.
complicated. Yeah.
No, you can do it.
if you go, you take the picture of it,
Uh-huh.
and then you
Send it.
if you have an iPhone, it's
You
really
can send it to us.
Yeah, send it
Send
to
it-
us and we'll look it up.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Or tell me what video it's in and I'll go and do it. I'll look.
It's not too bad. I mean,
I don't think they have it. I don't think so.
go to Google Images and it offers the option to go into
I'm
your.
so glad we don't have that toad here because when Elroy was sick, where are you, Elroy? Those puppies make me nervous when I'm on live. It's like, what are they getting into? Let me go check on them real quick.
Oh, I like your about, Goshen, a lot.
Okay, there you are.
Oh,
Yeah, he had to lick a toad, you know. So
Of course.
Oh dear.
yeah.
Yeah, that gets scary with the younger ones here.
mhm.
I'm gonna follow you, Goshen, and check you out after. Um, yeah, Google Lens. That's what it's called.
That's
You
funny.
just go into
They both
Google
work-
and it's right there,
They
Bob.
both
Like I
work
have.
the same way. They're from Google.
Yeah, you go
Here's
in.
a
Oh, it's too bright. There, you go
here's
into
the
Google, and I just tap right here because it'll go into my pictures for me, and I tap, and it'll bring up my pictures. Like,
oh
hold on, let me see if I have a picture or anything. I'll just do maybe my bananas, see what it'll do. Okay, so I tap there, like I showed you. Here, wait,
mhm.
see? Ooh, come on, light, work with me, dang it. I tap this underneath my search bar. It's to the left. And then I can go through my pictures. It brought up my pictures. So I'm going to bring in bananas. I tapped on the bananas, and now it's going to show me
Hmm.
all the different bananas on Google that look similar to what I have.
Okay.
And
I do think it's
It's
funny though.
sometimes
Google
works.
I'm
Sometimes.
saying that my dogs are Weimaraners.
Oh, if you put the gray one in, maybe is
Yeah,
that? Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's
one.
like no, it's
Me
a lab.
too. I use mine too a lot.
Yeah,
I
it's
use
funny
it all
though.
the time to identify plants and things
Mhm.
like that.
I put that video in the side chat over here. I don't know
Okay.
if it the one of the giant toad in my backyard. I'm not sure if it went through or not.
I don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it? Okay.
No.
I'll remove it.
Gosh, I want grilled cheese
Let's
again
start going a
tonight.
bit
It's
earlier.
terrible.
Oh, I love grilled cheese.
I know, me too. I love, like, my dad used to do melts with cheese. He would do like a, how do you
I
say
love
it? Like the
grilled
English
cheese.
muffin. He would do English muffin, and
Hmm.
he would do tomato, like when it was tomato
Mhm.
season, and he would have a bumper crop, sliced tomato, bacon, and then he would melt the cheese over top in the oven, like broil it so it just melted
Yeah,
all down. That was like
I
our
do
dinner.
that with my sourdough. I'll do an
Cosmo.
open face or that kind of
Yummy.
stuff. Or I do patty melt. Well, I
Mhm.
used to do all this stuff before I became hypertensive. But
Oh, I know. No salt. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry. At least the cheese that we got, the like government cheese from our friend, it's low sodium supposedly.
yeah,
But is it real cheese? I have no idea.
yeah.
It's American. It's American cheese
Yes.
product.
I put that
We know America just has healthy food.
I
What do
put that
you just
that
muffins?
video
Say?
in the private chat. Yeah, it comes up in the private chat.
I forget
These-
what you all call those. Uh, the English muffins. But yours are a little different, though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like wholly kind of all the way through, and our English muffins are like a toasted outside where it looks like you got real bread. Then you open it up, and it's got all the nooks and crannies.
Mm.
Oh, what
That
are
are that just soak up that butter. So
Oh my
nice.
gosh, I miss them. Oh, you guys call them muffins?
Yeah,
Just
just
muffins. That's a muffin.
Um,
And a cookie's a biscuit, right?
Yeah,
Am I
the
wrong?
biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that toad is in the private chat, guys. If you know much
it's
about,
a
Oh,
monster.
okay.
yeah, Barry, he
Okay.
was laying there. I was pruning over top of him for a
Oh,
day
he
and a
does look
half.
like one.
Oh,
As he,
Well
he's
done.
huge.
he
Yeah,
was
they
laying.
get real big if it's,
Oh, he's huge.
yeah.
I was working over top of him for a day and a quarter, a day and a half, just lightly pruning a little shrub, and then all of a sudden he decided to hop up. And I thought he was a rock.
Yes,
He
they
didn't-
do
he didn't-
play. They play rock, actually.
Mhm.
If you hit
Just-
them, they will get real stiff and like, I'm a rock. I'm
Have
not
a
a.
great
I'm,
day, CR.
yeah, have a really great day, sweetheart.
Later, Sierra. Take care.
All right. I've got a picture of it. Let's see if Google can bring it up.
Yeah, I
Bye,
think the
CR. Thank you for coming in.
video name was "You Gotta Be Kidding Me," because he didn't move a muscle for a day and a
Mhm.
quarter. All of a sudden, then he just gets up and hops out. I thought it was some kind of a volcanic rock. You know,
Mhm.
all the
It's
swirling colors and
showing-
all that. And
It is showing cane toad as one of the toads that came up. Also showing 2 other toads doing the naughty.
doing the nasty.
Hold on.
Dang that nature doing things like
Yeah,
that.
it does kind of look like cane toad.
Is that the ones you don't want to
Those
put
are the
your
ones
hands
that are
on?
poisonous. You don't. Well, for us, if you wash your hands, you're fine, but you don't want them around pets. Like if you guys
Right.
decide to get a small dog,
Oh,
kill the
okay.
dog because the dog
Okay.
will go after it, bite it, and the venom comes out, seeps
Oh.
out their back.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me see cane toads in the Philippines. I'm gonna
Yeah, it's
ask you.
huge.
And they get huge. They get as big as like dinner plates if you just leave them be, and they have a safe place to have a habit. Habitat, I mean.
Our house is vacant most of the time, and we don't have any pets going in and out of there. So he just, what I think he was doing was he was facing the tree, the palm
Mhm.
tree. So I think he was eating the lizards that were climbing up and down the palm tree. Just, grab a lizard
Probably.
and just go back into hiding. And yeah, ugly bugger. Ooh.
Wow.
I can't. I'm looking, but trying to find out if they are there. Hawaii has them too. Yeah, it looks like a cane toad, Bob.
Okay, I'll be right back. I got to use the bathroom.
Bye-bye. No.
It looks like they're in Taiwan too. Yep, scrambling. Yep, they've got a cane toad invasion too in Taiwan. So it probably is.
Okay.
Looks like it.
So, I mean, what do you do when you find cane toads in your backyard? Just leave them alone, or you chase them out?
You get some nice, those things that people have who can't reach down and pick things up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they just
Grabbers.
humanely dispose of them after that. However, they say
Mhm.
that is humane in your area.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. They suggest putting them, I think, in a bag and freezing them to death in Florida. Yeah, no.
Works.
Read
Yeah.
between the lines. That ain't happening. I'm not putting a poisonous toad in my freezer.
Yeah.
That's where my food goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, a scone sounds really good right now, Aid.
That does sound good.
I know. Here we are trying not to eat bread, and it's like,
Yeah.
I had to
Always
mention
talk
the
about
English
bread.
muffin.
And I'm making pizza for dinner.
Tell you what, I'll eat all the bread. I'll let you know how it goes.
There you go.
I should make fried potatoes tonight, Trish. I have potatoes I could fry.
Oh yeah. Yum.
Or at least roast. I like to roast them. It's so
That's a
simple.
good idea.
Yeah, just roast some of that in the oven. I only have like 2 hot dogs though. I usually keep like sausage on hand, and I don't have any, but like good sausage. I try not to get the ones that are loaded with garbage.
Yeah.
But who knows? If I don't make it myself, who really knows? They like to
Right.
lie to us, just like that stuff in the store is supposed to be honey.
Right.
Found out a very small percentage of it is actually honey with some
Right.
of them, and they can still claim it's honey.
That's crazy.
I know,
because
it's not right.
the American if it has a percentage, there's a certain percentage allowed that they can say something is, and if it's within that percentage, then they can say it is honey, or
Yeah, it's sickening. Don't really know what our food is anymore when we're going to the store, if it's in a container or a box.
Right.
And even the fresh food, it's like, I think it was the head of a certain online store that starts with an A. He's balding.
Mm-hmm.
When he acquired markets that were whole, I'm really going code here. He went into trying to lobby to change how they classify organic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like then I didn't hear any more about it, so I don't know if he succeeded or not.
Right.
Because I'm sure that would be kept out of the papers
Right.
with as much moolah as he has.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably be one of our first trillionaires because they said that about the rich are getting so rich that we will see possibly our first trillionaire.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the middle class goes this way, and
Yeah. Well, that's the whole plan.
transfer wealth.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I don't know if they keep crushing the middle class, it's going to crush everyone because we're the ones who pay for a lot of these programs for those who, and not that we're middle class. I would say now we're lower middle class, really.
Yeah.
Or we're rich to some because thankfully we got into a house before the housing
Right.
market situation happened. So
Yeah, it's amazing that if you have a house now, it's a big deal.
it's a huge deal.
When it used to be a given,
Yeah, it was part of the American dream, and now they've made it
Yeah.
so difficult for the next generation to achieve it,
Right.
and very easy for our generations losing it
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
of them with the AI closing down certain jobs that were blue collar and giving
Mhm.
them over to AI, like
Right.
on factory floors and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be defeating if you don't put your mind on Jesus.
Can be.
Yes.
If you're not looking up to the great Lord above and
Yeah.
finding your hope.
Yeah. I was having a freak out session. I was so grateful. Trish talked to somebody else, I'll say, and she prayed with me, and it was like, I needed that. Thank you. I don't think I've had anybody actually pray over me in so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped me be able to release whatever that was and get it off of me. Because it was like an
Right.
oppression. It's like an
Right.
oppression.
Yeah.
And then,
I think there's a lot of that going around. My husband and I were just talking about it, and he goes,
mhm. Yeah.
My husband works like crazy. He works 14 hours a day.
Yeah. It's
And
like close to my husband's schedule, but
yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just absolutely crazy. And he comes home, he's exhausted. And then, we have a huge homestead.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work that goes into a huge homestead, and he just has no energy for it. And it's just I think it's kind of depressed him a little bit because this is our dream,
Exactly.
we are out here
Yeah.
living our dream, and
Mhm.
it costs so much to live that dream that it can be hard.
I know.
That's I understand that, Laura. That's why we're having to wait another 4 or 5 years before we go overseas, because we got to wait until I've got my pension, and I'll as soon as I hit 62, 63, I'll start collecting my Social Security on top of my pension, and the wife will be in the same situation.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we can really have a fine life. But until we're all able to get all of our stuff together, we can't. Plus, educating the nieces too.
Yeah, it was when my dad's pension met the Social Security that they were able to go up.
That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah, and my mom too. She was able to collect off dad's amount.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys can see this, but it's a smooth jazz band that we went to see. This guy is a percussionist in the band.
Mm-hmm.
He has every type of percussion and rhythm instrument you can imagine. I mean, he made such a rich sound in the band by different types of shakers and
I like those.
I find that the percussionists or the drummer in a band is usually the most talented person.
That's
in
the lead
band.
of the band. That's the lead of the band. Yeah,
it's the heart of the band, and if they don't hold it together,
all the tempos and everything that they have to know.
Yeah, here he goes.
And be able to keep them is difficult for regular musicians.
No, they had this band has a regular drummer plus him in the percussion section,
Yeah.
a bass guitar and a lead guitar. The real lead of the band
Okay.
was the guy with the saxophone.
Yeah.
That's his band. So it's made such a deep, rich sound, smooth jazz. It
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. And we had to leave a little bit early, but we went through 2 sets with the band, so now she's pouting because, get over it, honey.
Yeah. Our smooth jazz musician isn't here popping in because she is leaving on a vacation that was given to her. So that's why.
No, it's
Steve,
just not
that's
going to be
Yeah.
the same.
I know we're gonna miss her for
That's
that.
lead of the band right there. He goes between here and Las Vegas.
Oh wow.
He is
Cool.
that good. He is that good.
Very cool.
Yeah. They had the only 2 people who were looking at any music at all was the keyboard, who was looking at some music while he's playing, and the lead guitar, big black guy, and he'd look at a little bit of a thing once in a while, but these guys don't even have to look at their guitars to play. They're
Yeah.
professionals,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And like, there's a big difference here. I don't, but the night before we went to was an all lesbian band that was an AC/DC tribute band, and they had to. Well, it's true. It's
Welcome
true.
to Seattle area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know. I just didn't expect this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, all lesbian band. Yeah, I mean all female band. Yeah,
Yeah.
covered in tattoos and butch haircuts. So yeah,
Nice.
they're a junior band, and they had to keep looking at music.
Yeah.
And their instruments were plugged in by wire, and they had to do all these antics and all this crazy stuff. But
Yeah.
this next band was smooth jazz, nothing plugged in, was all wireless, and oh man,
Mhm.
that saxophonist, he was going out into the audience frequently.
The difference is too that a lot of jazz band players play by ear. They play off each other.
Yep.
There's it's hard to bring in a new person to a jazz band because it's a communication.
It is. They've got to really sync. And I looked up that there is a difference between jazz and smooth jazz. Jazz is all improvised. The whole thing is improvised. They can, but smooth jazz has just a small amount of improvisation, but they have to follow the same script.
Yeah.
But yeah. But, I don't know if I'll be out of the doghouse about this today or not. I don't know. Spoiled, rotten little wife.
He's trying to take on the puppies.
So Norman,
Norm tries to be the boss. Yeah. He needs a haircut.
what are you doing, Norman?
Needs a haircut in my Normster.
She hasn't answered me, so I'm still in the doghouse. So
Yeah. What are you doing, Bubba Gump? Trying to run alive with 3 dogs all around. That's not the easiest. And then Norm is starting fights with the puppies lately, and it's like,
oh, that's not nice.
no.
No,
He's got to be the boss, and now that they're bigger, they're like,
Yeah, he's got to put his position. Yep.
So you'll see them playing, and then all of a sudden Norm's hanging on one of their faces, and they're just kind of like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You're hanging on my face.
Okay, you're still the boss, but chill out, man. Yeah.
Chill out. Yep. It's always the little one that's got to be the boss, right?
Like those annoying little chihuahuas. I hope nobody in here has a chihuahua, but I found those dogs to be annoying because they always have to assert their aggression, their position, even with people.
I've only met one nice chihuahua. I think it has a lot to do with the people that raise them, but
okay.
Yeah.
No, I've only met one in my whole life that liked me. The rest were always like they wanted to tear my throat out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd rather have a pit bull than a chihuahua.
Yeah, me too.
pit bulls get a bad rep. It's just because they're not raised right.
Yeah,
Right.
if you beat them when they're young, they're going to turn mean. Yeah,
Any dog, though. Any
any
dog,
dog.
really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But pit bulls are hard with other dogs. That's where.
We had a Newfoundland cross with a Labrador. She was a giant, huge dog. She was
Mhm.
so cool because she didn't need to prove anything. You
Right.
know, just she was. We called her Mama, and because we had a kitten, and she would put the kitten between her paws and protect
Mhm.
it. And
Aw,
the kitten would roll over on its back and slap her on the muzzle,
right.
and she just big jowls hanging down, and kitten would slap all over her, and I go, "Oh, honey, is that kitten beating you up?" And she lifted up the kitten, grabbed a hold of her muzzle and hung on. And she lifted up at me and looked at me like that. With this kitten hang off her. Well, it's okay. It's all right. It's just
Yeah.
a baby. It's just a baby. She didn't need to prove a thing.
Right.
I'd love to have another dog, but I don't know.
Yeah.
7 cats, and they all have attitudes.
Oh
Mhm.
no. Wouldn't be fair to that dog.
Plus, I think the dog would think it was a cat after a while.
Maybe. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. Trish, those Chi-Chis rule the roost wherever they are.
Oh boy. Oh
Well,
boy.
I think if I raised it from a pup, it would be different.
Yeah, possibly. They might take it actually under their wing, depending on the personality of the cat.
My
Mhm.
Calico Paint, I know she would. Clementine, probably not
A
so.
9-pound Chihuahua. That's pretty heavy Chihuahua.
That's big.
Mhm. I don't know. I think that's about average. The ones that are smaller that are teacups, or the teacup
Oh.
size.
Wow.
It's about average. There's Prep for it. Hi, honey.
Hey, prep for it. Good to see you, girlfriend.
Yeah.
The teacups, you can roll those in a burrito and throw them in the
I
oven.
haven't seen her in a long time. The last time it was when you were just out of the hospital. I was praying for you every day.
Hmm.
And
Chris doesn't
it
want
was really neat to see your transformation and how it drew you closer to God. I
Mhm.
really like that.
Are you kidding? Puppies and kittens are a whole lot like babies. You just can't
Mm.
get enough of them.
That's true.
True.
Until they pee and poop on things that you like or chew it up, and
Yeah.
It's part
then you
of
wish you could put them in timeout like you can with a toddler.
You can. It's called a crate.
Yes, crates work sometimes. True.
Crate training is awesome. That's what when I was interviewing you earlier, the boys were in a crate because otherwise I couldn't focus on, questions and stuff like that.
Oh, you had
Yeah.
your interview already, Carol?
Yeah, that was before. It was early.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
over at Corsairs this morning.
I
That's
figured
why I had to bail out at Corsairs because I was coming over here.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I didn't even really mean to say as much as I did, but I was like, we were talking about trolls and that came up. And I was like, oh, by the way, where's Tibor? Because Barry was there that night when that happened too. It was like, that's not Tibor. Don't put him up
Mm,
because you just got hit by a bunch of trolls. There's not going to be Tibor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Tibor. Yay, I'm okay.
Well, the secret agent guy, I knew exactly who you were talking about.
Yeah. And that wasn't me who found that out. That was the ones he's hanging out with now.
Yep.
Who outed him.
that's
Really?
awesome.
Somebody finally did, huh?
Good for it.
No, I mean, they're the ones who went behind the scenes and told everybody that it wasn't what he was saying. Anyway, I don't want to do that on my friend's
Okay.
channel.
Okay, we can do that after or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, I knew exactly.
I knew Steve would appreciate it, though, to a certain
Mhm.
degree.
Well, he doesn't go to Steve's anymore.
Yeah.
Same with
Uh-oh.
the one-eyed guy. He doesn't go to Steve's anymore. Yeah, he doesn't go there anymore. So there's been a few because
No.
Steve is like as
Thank
much mentality as me. Be yourself.
Yeah, he's a straight
Be
shooter.
honest.
Yeah.
Straight,
Yep,
yeah,
be honest.
straight up.
I
You
know.
know.
I like honesty and justice, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't like fake.
Straight true.
Not about that.
Right.
I
Yeah,
grew up with
I
that. I
get
grew up in Boca. Too much fake growing up. I don't want to deal with it.
plastic people. I have no use for them.
Right.
Even if you're a loser, as long as you're honest, I'm a loser. I did this, and that's why I'm here.
Mhm.
That I respect that. I respect the hell out of that.
And we've all been through stuff and been
Sure
through
we have.
bad stuff, and
Mhm.
and thank God for redemption.
Yes.
One of the Filipinas, Maria's, I go to hers, and there's one guy who comes in there pretty frequently, and he was straight up. I'm a convicted felon. I'm an ex-con. I would like to go meet a lady that I'm interested over in the Philippines, and I'm in the process of reestablishing my citizenship. No, because they take your passport when you're a convicted felon. You can't leave, but you can go through the process and you can get your right to vote that back. You can get your rights to a passport back. But as soon as he said that, that's why I haven't gone to meet her, because I can't until I get through the process. And I said, dude, I just got 100% respect for you for being honest.
Yeah.
Another window. That's crazy, Trish.
Oh no, Trish. I'm so sorry.
What happened?
Dog took out another window.
Oh, jeez.
Luckily, in my office door. Okay, it's not an out exterior, but still, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, prep for it. We all need that.
Yeah, for sure.
We all need that. Each to his own way. He's not talking about unbelievers. He's talking about sheep. So that's us.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. So we all do it. Thank God for his forgiveness and long suffering towards us. And humanity in general, or
Mhm.
we would have all been taken out with a sun fart by now. Or just completely undone. That's what blows my mind. Like when they were beating Jesus and have guess who it is, playing that horrible game with him.
Right.
All he had to do was just turn him to dust.
Right.
And he knew who it was. He could have just been like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll guess. You're dust. There you go. What's that?
But he
Sometimes
didn't
it's I think in our humanity, we wish he would have done that at that moment.
Yeah.
But then we would have, all these other people would have never had a relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
Been like, that woman that turned to salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean my ex-wife?
Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry. Diarrhea of the mouth once in
I
a while.
know.
I seldom refer or even speak of her at all. But yeah, some people are just that kind of bitter.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, I read what you're saying in the private there. Yeah, and I responded to it. Yeah.
Easy now.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Yeah, I got to get going too here. So we should probably wrap it up anyways.
Yeah, I got to make dinner.
Yeah, I got
And
to
get cleaned up after the sun tore everything apart.
I got to change out of my decent clothes, because since I'm going to be working with that tar to cover the trees, I guarantee I'm going to wear half of it.
I thought you were going to just make yourself look really pitiful and humble for when your wife returns home and be, look like you're emaciated a little bit. Like I'm so
a little bit, yeah, a little bit emaciated,
sucking your cheeks and your gut.
Yeah, a little bit emaciated, but
crawl on the ground.
Hey, Gear.
I know.
Oh, you too, Gear. I didn't know you were still in the background. That's awesome.
Yeah.
If I just meet her out of the car with a big hug, that usually just smooths it all over with.
Yeah. Yeah, just
All right,
don't
you
follow it
guys.
with grabbing her butt, Bob. Just give her the hug. Just the
Yes.
hug.
Good advice. Good
Okay.
advice.
Yes, yes.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week. I don't know who I'm going to interview next week yet. We're working on that.
Okay.
God bless you guys. Kira, I would love to interview you. I know that you grow stuff too over there in the Northwest. So I would
Mhm.
love to interview you too. So we'll see you guys next time. God bless you guys.
All righty.
And-
Thanks
Later,
for
all.
having us up.
Bye, everybody.
Peace
Bye.
out.
Peace.
Peace.